What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Hip Hop Talks. It's your man Coop. You know, we got your phone tapped. What you gonna do? Yeah,
starting with
we're gonna talk. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. What up, AG, Sean? Usual suspect. What's good with everybody? You got the cream hat. I got the Wu-Tang shirt.
Yeah. Synergy, man.
AG, as usual, had something Nas related on. Which is
always. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
It's relevant to one of the topics at hand, but we'll get to some other proceedings, you know.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, that's cool. How's everybody week been? Y'all want to do a quick sports rundown right quick? How we feel like flowing? Like, you want to talk about your week? How's your week been? Everybody feeling blessed? We feeling healthy? We up?
Yeah.
We right? We righteous? What's good?
Life is good. Life is good. I just got back today. Little jet lag, but I'm drinking some vodka to kind of take the edge off.
Okay,
but life is
good. AG?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just enjoying the fall weather. You know what I mean? We got some this unusual fall weather. We done had 70s, you know, all week here where I'm at in West Virginia. So, you know, it's been real nice. Just trying to gear up, you know, for the time change and how that affect my body and all that. But other than that, man, doing good.
Okay. After this election, we're going to take a vote and try to make West Virginia its own country. It really doesn't belong to the United States anymore.
It doesn't.
West Virginia and California got to go. West Virginia in a bad way, California in a good way.
West Virginia like Demascara. Like
we got to up our demographic. We got to up our numbers. So we got to cut some. We got to trim some of the fat.
Don't hate, man.
So the two best
we
players,
goaded out here.
The two best players in baseball, although I think Acuna could give them both a run for their money were he like healthy consistently in here, playing in the World Series. We got any World Series predictions? Dodgers versus Yankees. Sean, I told you that the Mets were going to lose. I'd like to list, forget what both of you have to say. I'd like to list the teams that I hate in order that I hate them in terms of baseball. I hate the Yankees, number one. Number one is New York Yankees. Hate the Yankees the most.
We should.
Hate the Mets. Hit the Mets second. You guys haven't won since 2009. It's been a long time since you've been anywhere important. Need to watch your tone.
This is how we're going to do this tonight.
New York Mets number 2. Chicago Cubs number 3, but that's only because I got into a fight at a playoff game down here. I was escorted out the stadium. I said, usually when I get escorted out of places, I usually say I get escorted out of better places. I was like, but I actually don't think I've been escorted out of a better place.
That sounds about right. That's on brand. That's actually on brand.
So Chicago Cubs number 3, St. Louis Cardinals number 4, so Dodgers number 5. So I don't care who wins the World Series. What say you guys?
I got the Yanks. I think the Yanks gonna win it.
Absolutely. New Yeti all day. You know what it is. Yankees. Let's get it.
Terrible. Yeah. Thoughts on the early NBA season games so far? What do we think?
I don't like the LeBron and Bronny thing. I'm glad that's over. Get that up out of here. They tried it. It was trash.
You kind of a hater. That's
not hating. That is, I'm a basketball player. So that's
don't you like nepotism when it's on our side for a change, though?
Not like that.
You know what was dope though? My biggest takeaway was my biggest takeaway was
like
Ken Griffey.
Are you saying they not like us? I'm sorry. If you saying they not like us, is that what you saying?
Oh, we got to get to that too for sure. But my biggest takeaway, I thought it was dope that Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. came out to support that. You know, I really like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they were the father-son duo that played at Major League Baseball together, and
they were good.
See what Sean doing?
Yeah. Look, man, my father and I played on South Side on Fulton Park together. I was 20, he was like 47, I think, or 48 or something like that. And we played together 2-on-2, hustled some guys. They came back with the blinkies. We got up out of there. That's a legacy. That's what you want to. That's what you really want to have. Because we actually got some buckets.
But nobody asked you that.
I'm just saying, on
nobody asked you that at all.
Sean was Sidney Dean out there.
I was like, yo.
Nobody asked you to have your fucking middle-aged ass flashback. Back to the Wonder Years, the black version, and corrupt. Like nobody asked you to do all that.
Coop, Coop
I
is
asked you what you thought about the early NBA games. Like, what did you think?
Yo, the
Do
games
we
were.
have any MVP predictions?
It's only one game, Coop. Nobody.
Predictions.
I don't have any predictions, but I'll tell you who I hope gets it. And I'm not even a fan of this guy, but you know, I just gotta recognize the situation. Is Tatum. The way he did for Team USA, I hope Tatum wins the NBA MVP this year. And I'm not even a Tatum fan like that.
He wasn't done a certain type of way. He plays the same position as LeBron and KD.
They did him greasy, bro. Don't do that.
They is a he. He
Kerr.
is a
Yeah,
Kerr.
Steve Kerr. Yes.
He is a Kerr. They is a he. He is a Kerr.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think the team is just too stout for him to win MVP, quite frankly, because when you have four guys that can pretty much score like 20 points a night, maybe sometimes 5 when you actually add Porzingis to the mix, it makes it hard to win MVP unless you have to have like one of those seasons. Like you have to have like one of those like Magic Johnson seasons where he averages like 25 points and 13 assists and 9 rebounds and 2 steals and 2 blocks, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's got to be one of those seasons, and I don't know if he's going to have one of those seasons. Sean, who you got for MVP?
Himself.
Of course. That's
that makes
we
more
took
sense.
a poll. If we took a poll and he voted, and then he probably voted for himself like 12 times.
No, I think SGA. It's either gonna be SGA or Jokic. I wonder how Jokic is gonna respond with getting bounced last year. If he's gonna come back with a different type of fire, because he don't get up for anything. But this is first time really losing, in what, 2 years, if you will. Like, he won the championship, had another amazing season after that. I wonder how he's going to return this year. If he returns with a chip on his shoulder, and I think SGA is going to return with a chip on his shoulder as well, for sure. So those are my two right now, neck and neck, balls.
I think because he's going to have to do more if this team can stay relatively within the win column the way that it did last season. I think Anthony Edwards has an excellent shot at MVP this year.
Yeah.
But realistically at this point, first of all, I thought SGA should have won last year. But realistically, this is essentially, this is Luka's award to lose. He's been the person that's been chosen to win this award so many seasons. And I feel like for the first time in like 5 years, he's not everybody's choice to win MVP. And usually that's when you win MVP. It's usually the year they don't choose you the way that they've always chosen you to win MVP, that you win MVP. And so, although I don't think that they're going to repeat their journey to the finals, I do think he is going to put his first MVP award in the bag. I don't know if it's going to be his last, because winning MVP in the NBA is extremely hard because some of it is media and popularity driven. But I think he's about to have the type of season, and they're about to be relevant enough and on enough people's radar, and enough people have been like waiting for him to kind of like snag that award, that it's his to lose. So I think the MVP award is really dependent upon his performance. If he performs the way that he's actually performed consistently the last couple of years, and they win a few more games, he's going to win.
Yeah,
it's a good pick.
It's a good pick.
Yeah,
I don't see, and it's not ready. Ant's not ready. The Wolves are off right now because they made some bad moves over the off season, and I think that messed them up.
I don't know if they're bad moves.
And let's not forget, he's only in his 5th year as well, so
he got some more time to mature.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get there. It's going to get there.
Got time. Got the Celtics repeating? Celtics repeat?
No.
Nah.
Who you got?
No.
I mean, it could be OKC. I think they could come out and win it. I think the Knicks got a good shot. It's crazy to say, but I think they got a good shot. in the playoffs, if they're healthy, I think they could take the Celtics down. But I would say either the Knicks or the Thunder would be my picks from each coast.
Wow, that's a hot take. I don't see OKC coming out the West. I don't see it.
See,
I don't see any team beating the Celtics as currently constituted. But I will tell you this.
I think Philly will get them.
No.
I read somewhere where PG and Embiid ain't even. Yeah, Embiid, they're not even playing back-to-backs this season. Neither one of them.
And they're on the investigation. They got Philly on the investigation for that.
Hold on. You talking about AG? You talking about the back-to-back? First of all, you have to play the front first. You got to play the first game. You got to play the first game before you talk about the. Can't talk about a back-to-back when you haven't even played.
That's a fact. But I feel like they're gonna slide deep down in the playoffs, like one of the lower seeds because of that. If neither one of these cats going to play back-to-backs, they're going to lose a lot of games in the regular season.
Here's what I will tell you. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Milwaukee guys. If Milwaukee is healthy.
People forgot about them towards the end of last year.
Milwaukee's problem
is
health. In Dame and Giannis, they have, first of all, nobody asked you on it.
I'm just saying they should forget about him. Dame was trashed.
First of all, hold on. Giannis top 3 player, correct?
I give you that.
That's arguable, but yeah.
If he could hit free throws, he'd be number 1. If he hit free throws, he'd be the number 1 player.
Yeah,
I think it's more than that for him. I think he had that phenomenal season when they won the chip. But you got to think about it, man. Jokic does everything. Until someone can prove otherwise, Jokic is the one.
I think Jokic and Luka are the ones that's clearly above him.
No. That's what I'm saying. Luka's not that much better of a free throw shooter than him. So it's arguable about that 2 or 3 space because here's the reality of the matter. Well, how can you have Luka ahead of Giannis when Giannis got 2 MVPs in the NBA championship and Luka doesn't have either one of those things?
That's fair. That's fair.
So really, if we're really talking about it, it's like Giannis is actually 2 behind Jokic.
I'm glad you brought.
Jokic got 3 MVPs in a ring. Giannis got 2 MVPs in a ring. As far as this generation is concerned, it actually goes Jokic, Giannis, and then we can argue about Embiid and Luka at 3 and 4.
I'm glad you brought that up, Coop, because for another point later on, I prefer Luka, but when you bring up objective stuff like that, then you have to put Giannis in front. So I'm glad you brought that point up.
Yeah, he's got just as many All-NBA first teams. And think about it. He started making All-NBA first team when LeBron and KD were like in their prime. He was making first team. You know what I mean? Like they were in their prime. He was making first team. Like he's like that. And let's not forget who Dame is. If there's a shot for the money from this generation, like he's the guy. Like he's more clutch than Steph, KD, and LeBron. He has been. If we're just talking about like closing games, closing moments. So if they're healthy, if they can add a piece, some team that we're expecting to win may not win and may end up selling off pieces. And if Milwaukee is doing well enough, think about it. They got Doc Rivers as a coach. So they have championship pedigree as a coach. They got a top 3 player from this era. They got the best closer from this era. If they can stay healthy and add a piece or 2, don't be surprised. Like it would not surprise me. I don't know who to pick out the West. Whoever stays healthy out the West is gonna win the West. Like they're about like whoever stays healthy between. I mean, because there's a lot of teams. The Clippers don't matter because they got creaky knees doing creaky knees things.
Don't sleep on Sacramento either.
Don't sleep on Sacktown, no.
So you could say Sacramento, OKC, Minnesota, Dallas, Phoenix. You think the Lakers? How do you feel? You think they're going to be
bottom,
better?
8th or 9th.
Golden State?
About 7.
I think Golden State going to shock some people.
So those 5 teams I just named, those are the teams that you're expecting, like OKC, Sacramento, Phoenix.
Memphis is healthy.
If John plays the whole season.
I need to see Memphis. What about
Shout
Utah?
out to-
Nah, I think you ran off the top five. I think in whatever order. I think the top five is going to be OKC, Sacramento, Minnesota,
Dallas,
Denver, and Dallas.
Denver, Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like all of those teams are a player away from beating the Celtics. They need another player.
Yeah.
Like,
Watch out for Golden State. I'm telling you, they got like a 10-man rotation right now. They're playing with a 10-man rotation.
it's not going to hold
And-
up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's not going to hold up in the playoffs.
We got some
All
super
right.
chats. We got 5 super chats out the gate. Appreciate y'all.
No doubt.
I got you, CJ the Kid. I just arrived. Hope you guys are good overall. How are you? What did I miss so far? You missed nothing. We're just shooting the shit about some sports right quick and getting warmed up. That's all we're doing, CJ. Shout out to you. Appreciate you.
Peace,
Um,
DJ.
Brunson is a great player, but he needs to trust his players and pass the ball more. That'll come with time. It's got a lot of new teammates. It's been a lot of moving parts in the last 6 to 12 months in New York. So just give that time. Mad Max, Luka ain't over Giannis. That's ridiculous. Mad Max, we already spoke to that. What you need to do is relax.
Mad Max is true.
Yeah, let's be going to man.
I'm whipping the wheel, Mad Max. Don't even worry about it. Mad Max, Luka got to play defense before I rate him like that. That's true because Giannis is an all NBA defense player too.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it's closer between Giannis and Jokic than people talk about. That's actually the real conversation. People try to make it in an Embiid Jokic conversation because they're both like traditional centers.
Yeah.
But really the conversation is Giannis and Jokic. You know what I'm saying? And really it's been about health because if you really look at it, Giannis's numbers are just as good, if not better, than Embiid's most of the time. I mean, than Embiid and Jokic most of the time.
Yeah.
It's just been health the last couple of years. He probably might have had one of these MVP awards had he not been hurt. You know, like
He's healthy right now. Yeah.
something to think about. Mad Max again. Mad Max, we appreciate it, even though I'm tired of saying stuff that has Mad Max name on it. Enough with name. Kyrie better, always has been. Kyrie's a better shooter, but that's about it. All right.
Hold on, we got one more.
One more?
Yeah.
Our man. Shout out to our man. Appreciate you, brother. What's good with you? Peace. Doc got the chip because he had KG, Pierce, Allen, and Rondo. At best, Doc is overrated. But that's what I'm saying. If you give Doc Giannis, Dame, Middleton, and like another piece, like somebody that's this as good as Middleton, but better than Portis, like, yeah, they can win the chip. They're a championship contending team. Like, I expect them, if they're healthy, to be a top 3 seed in the East, actually. They're gonna
Dog done coached a decade and a half off that one championship. Like
they're gonna have a better record. They're gonna have a better record than Philly because playoff PP and Embiid ain't playing back to backs. We don't even know if they know how to play the front 9, let alone the back 9.
That is crazy.
The Knicks are figuring it out.
Yeah, by mid-season we'll know who's who.
Miami is always more of a postseason team than a regular season team.
Yeah. They don't care about regular season. They really don't.
Hey, the Pacers are probably like the dark horse.
Pacers are a sleeper. The Magic's a sleeper.
Yeah, the Pacers and Magic are the sleepers. That's going to be dependent on health for both of those teams, and some of that is just going to depend on. It's like, well, how great of a player is Banchero? Is he is he a top 15 player? How far Orlando is going to be like? Is he a top 15 player?
Don't sleep on Cleveland either.
Yeah, something about
they can sneak in. They can sneak in the playoffs.
They got the talent. It's just something about those pieces don't seem like they fit still, even with.
They don't.
It just seemed like the pieces on that don't fit. You know what I'm saying? So I still expect Milwaukee to be like a top 3 seed. Like maybe 2.
For sure. If healthy.
But it's Boston again. So guys, real quick, last sports thing before we transition to all our hip hop actual talk. I'm afraid Lamar Jackson is going to win his 3rd MVP award. I'm going to tell you why I'm afraid. Because you can't be walking around with 3 MVP awards and no rings. And so if he keeps playing like this, he's actually putting more pressure on himself, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To win. And to win right now. Because if you're looking at the people with 3 MVP awards, Like you're in the rarest of air. You were in Jim Brown, Johnny Unitas, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. Like 3.
Well,
He's not even close to 30. He's 27, guys.
yeah, but it's hard to win a championship when the powers that be want the other guy to win so much. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, the guy.
No
You know
honey,
what I'm talking
to
about.
hear this Illuminati bullshit.
Well,
Nah,
the guy.
it's getting. Nah, I mean, this is a whole nother tangent, man. It's getting flagrant. It's getting real Tom Brady-ish out there for that boy out there in KC. I'm just say that, man. It's nasty work and it's pissing me off. Like, so we can move on to the next topic because
You know,
that
like,
shit get me triggered.
That's a touchy.
Yeah, man.
No,
It's nasty, bro. It's nasty.
They are. I was actually saying he's not even getting Tom Brady level calls. He's getting Michael Jordan level calls.
He's getting it's a different level of calls. And he's having like a mediocre season right now. Like it's not
late flags coming out and all kinds of shit. Man, come on, man. Don't get me started, man. Y'all get me triggered before the show.
But what I will tell you is that when you have a quarterback that looks like they are going to be the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for 4,000 yards and run for 1,000 yards, when you have a running back who is on pace to become the first running back in NFL history to have 2,000-yard rushing seasons, when you have those type of things in play for you, that's one of those things that when it's cold in January, no matter what field you're on, it helps even the playing field, even against a Mahomes and an Andy Reid in Kansas City, because the way Baltimore is playing, like this is better than they played all of last year. Like they look like it's not unrealistic to say. Like if they didn't lose another game, I wouldn't be surprised. Like that's how they look. Even with their defense looking suspect like that sometimes, even when they went down 10-0 to Tampa Bay, I was like, oh no, it's like unless they're going down 10-0 to Mahomes or Allen, I wouldn't even be concerned. Like, wouldn't even be bothered if they go down to. It's like, yeah, but they got Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson.
He can't do that. He can't go down to them. He can't. Honestly,
nobody really can. Going down to them is murder.
Yeah, that sounds crazy too.
Yeah, you can't go down 10-0 to Kansas City.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Unleashes their defense. Their defense is actually the thing that's winning for them. So I picked Josh Allen to win MVP. He still looks like he's in the conversation. AG, you picked Burrow. He's still in the conversation. Sean, you picked Mahomes. He has 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
No, I did pick Mahomes. You're right, I did.
And although they do have the best record in football, he's not an MVP candidate.
He's not.
You can't have 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions to be an MVP candidate. So this is just further evidence that me and AG know what we're talking about, and you don't. And with that, I'd like to slide to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees.
Slide to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's crazy. We got 2 super chats real quick. Queens
Mad
get the
Max.
money.
Pat Mahomes has lost. AG Lamar is just a choker. Kyle 007. Queens get the money. Knicks will be there in June. But aren't the finals played into July now?
Yo, Mad Max got another one.
Man. Mad Max. Only QBs that can beat Mahomes is Joey B and Jared Goff because the Lions, the best team in the NFL. I feel like both Baltimore and Detroit, in order to beat Kansas City, is going to have to add some sort of defensive impactful player. Because they just added DeAndre Hopkins, and so adding Hopkins kind of balances the scales with Baltimore a little bit more.
Kansas City defense, man. That defense is playing lights out early.
Man, let's go on to the next topic, man. Y'all get me tight, man.
You know, like
Kansas City, man, for real.
Okay. Let's talk about more. Let's go to the viral vibes. A little bit more positive. Viral vibes with the Tribe Called Quest, AG. A Tribe Called Quest is now officially a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, along with Mary J. Blige and Kool and the Gang. Now, I like the picks, but I almost feel like they picked like you know, they're like, okay, so we're gonna pick from a couple eras of black music, and these are the candidates that we got. I like the selections.
Yeah.
Of course, this is hip hop talk, so we're gonna start with Tribe. What do you think Tribe's contribution is to this culture overall? And what do you think this means and this represents for them? There was like a lot of hoopla when Jay-Z and LL went in at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Wu-Tang Clan, I believe, is still. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole other conversation for another day.
Yes.
Yes.
But what do you think? What do you think A Tribe Called Quest has done to, you know, put themselves in position to have such a prestigious honor?
My biggest thing about Tribe, if I may go, is they always ran their own race, and you know that's what I always respected about Tribe, and their legacy was so broad. You know what I mean, from their sound, and you know, far as like you know that whole native tongues movement. You know what I'm saying? So I was a Wu-Tang guy. I'll tell you right now, I preferred Wu-Tang over Tribe and listened to them more often than Tribe. And I think Wu-Tang should be in there first, but that doesn't negate Tribe's impact on the culture, you know, that continues to be, you know, shown this day. They got, you know, Sean always talks about, you know, legacy in the tree. And Tribe's tree is something that's extended into modern day hip hop. And, you know, I think that's their contribution, man. And I've always respected them for running their own race. And, you know, and that's what made them unique to me.
Very well said. Tribe is a safe bet. As much as I love Wu, and I hope they get their time, because I think Wu created a whole different wave of hip hop. Don't want to go down the rabbit hole with that, but I think the Tribe is it's a safe one. You know, you're talking about the jazz influence. You're talking about the alternative style of hip hop that they've ushered in. You're talking about the native tongues movement. You're talking about the pure. When you think about purity of hip hop, you think Tribe, right? You think about clean essence of hip hop, you think about Tribe. You don't think about anything negative associated with the Tribe name, right? You think about the positive impact of Tribe. Even when you think about Outkast, very similar. You don't have a group that's, you know, I guess watered with or measured with a lot of negative connotation of hip hop. It looks like it's a clean, healthy hip hop. And I think that's what Tribe is. It's a clean, healthy ecosystem of hip hop that's palatable to an alternative audience. So it makes sense for them to be a part of that right now over Wu.
I think because of the jazz influence, they had a leg up. Like they made the jazz influence cool in a ways even their contemporaries with De La and Jungle Brothers didn't. It was more creative and inventive and kind of nerdy kind of rap when they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Tribe made it cool, mostly Q-Tip.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something that's embraced present day, nerdy type rap, you know.
Which was the point I was about to make. Well, nerdy rap has kind of been the thing for a minute. And that's what they're the real founding fathers are. They're the real founding fathers of making the nerdy rap cool. The the nerd albums that you get from Pharrell and Chad and like those albums.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. When you get, I wouldn't say Outkast's first two albums, but Aquemini and Stankonia, yeah, definitely more in their Tribe bag. Talib and Mos, Common, The Root. I think it translates over to D'Angelo and Maxwell and Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. I think Tribe is at the epicenter of all of that. And so I'm super happy for them because really you know who they are because you know who their biggest claim to fame is as far as who's on their tree? Kanye. because these were actually the first cool regular hip hop guys. There is no big hustler story. There is no Nas or Snoop level buzz before the album for this group. There is no getting shot like 50. There is no turning dope money into record label like Eazy-E. There is no radio DJ turned into rapper turned political activist like Chuck D. There is no Ice Cube leaving the most. There's no storyline to Tribe other than Tribe being dope, is my point.
That's it. It's pure.
Everybody else got a storyline. Even Rakim. Rakim was supposed to go play quarterback. He chose rap over going to play quarterback in college. You know what I'm saying? KRS-One used to be homeless. I think we all know what Cool G Rap was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Slick Rick with the accent and the patch and the shooting. Like there's a story like with everybody. With Tribe, it was just this shit's dope. Like what they're making, like the beat. The drums, the kicks, the hooks.
Yep. That's it. That's all they needed.
Yeah, they're this is the viral vibe. Like their vibe was like the first vibe that didn't need a story. It was like the vibe was enough. Yeah. And so I think that's really what they should be remembered for. And I'm more Wu-Tang too, and I'm wearing the Wu-Tang shirt because I feel like Wu-Tang still deserves to be in there. And Sean, I think you are right about them being the safer pick, but that doesn't mean like that they're not the right pick either,
Right, absolutely.
Like they have in the low end theory, they have an album that I feel like is in competition to be a top 10 rap album all time, depending on what your flavor is. I feel like it's that type of album that deserves that type of consideration. Midnight Marauders is not too far behind it, in my opinion. Midnight Marauders is actually the bigger and bolder album. I just don't think it's the better album in the end.
No doubt.
But yeah, that's how I feel about it. I think Mary J. Blige getting in is a big deal for Black culture. I feel like Kool and the Gang is one of those things that is kind of like a throwback classic. It's like, how long has Kool and the Gang been eligible, guys? Kool and the Gang was making records like when we were born.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Yep.
Crazy.
So it's like cool. Shouldn't Kool and the Gang been in there?
Long time ago.
Long time ago. I just saw Kool and the Gang a couple months ago. Kicked them out of an event that we had. They were doing a performance for us, and kicked them out. I think I sent AG a video. I'm like, yo, Kool and the Gang is here. Dude tried to get some free food. I'm like, yo, man,
I forgot about that. Yo, that's crazy. Yeah, you did send me that.
Kick Kool and the Gang got the joint, man. They tried to get in. I didn't know he looked different. I know.
Yo, we need to switch topics because this is supposed to be showing love, but I do remember that though.
My bad, man. Shout out to Kool and the Gang, man. My bad.
Why are you co-signing him? Why are you co-signing him? Him downstairs, kicking Kool and the Gang out when we're supposed to be giving flowers on the show for Kool and the Gang, and he sent out.
Yo.
I know.
I forgot about that, but yo, as soon as you said it, bro.
My bad, Kool. My bad.
I apologize. No. Super chat.
I apologize, though. We didn't even know it was Kool and the Gang.
Yeah, they was wild, and that was crazy.
We thought it was a pimp because he had the label with him. It was like, yo, you can't come in here, man. And couldn't find out it was one of the guys from Kool and the Gang. Yeah, they did a good show. They did like a private show for us, man. It was dope. It was crazy.
You thought he was out here pimping hoes. CJ the Kid with the $20 super chat. Based on the convo you guys are having, if you ever confirm a Native Tongues versus Wu-Tang Station Head, I'll make the art immediately.
That'd be dope.
I know what side I want to be on that, but that would be dope.
Okay, so here's what I would tell you about that is that, like most things Wu-Tang, it's an unfair advantage unless you're just picking Wu-Tang album stuff. Like there will be no Purple Tape or Ironman or Liquid Swords or Supreme Clientele or for you, I guess, Capadonna. There'll be none of that.
Don't squint your eyes when you say Capadonna. You put your hand over your heart. When you say Capadonna, you put your hand over your heart. What are you doing? Come on, man. What are we doing?
Every time I think about that album, I just think about how they picked Deck. They picked him over Deck. And I'll never forgive.
He was on fire.
Kappa didn't disappoint.
No, set the house on fire.
You got to go with the hot hand, cool.
First of all, hold on. Talking about hot hand.
Yes.
No, it's a hot pipe from the crack that they smoking. Deck had a hot hand.
Nah, remember it was Sony who wanted that. Was Sony? No. It was what was Razor Sharp was under was it
Loud Tommy Boy?
It was under Epic, I think. Razor Sharp Records was under Epic.
I think it was Epic, yeah.
They wanted Kappa. They were like, yo, remember they paid Kappa a lot of money. He got a $500,000.
He got an advance, yeah.
That $500,000 advance. $500,000 advance in '98 is crazy.
Yeah. And people forget because that was a point of contention between Kappa and Divine, but we're going off on a tangent. And he had it was some like fine print in his contract where he had to go gold to get the bonus, from that record deal, and he shipped gold initially, and then Kappa didn't get paid that money or what have you, and then he had to beef with Divine, but eventually that album did end up going gold. So
I don't care about none of that shit.
It's a dope album. It's a solid four mic album.
It is not. First of all, up until that point, every album that had been released from a main Wu-Tang member or Wu-Tang album had been better than that. And some subsidiary albums are better, like Gravediggers.
Nah, bro, I put Kappa's album against the Cal any day of the week.
Any day of the week.
Yeah, there is not a Bring the Pain.
All right, that's one song.
That's the exception. That's
one song.
Biscuits.
All I Need don't got the remix on to Cal.
Right. Cool. I put Odana out there. Odana. Yo, that joke was crazy. Come on.
Yo, take that Wu shirt off, cool. Pause. Take that off, man. Take it off.
Man.
I'm gonna stop trying to make it seem like that Kappa album is like that.
Cool.
Shout out to Cappuccino, one of our bar seminars for the week with Winter Wars, by the way.
We did it for you, Coop. We did Kappa down the verse off of Winter Wars for you.
Is it the bar seminar this week?
We did 3 of them.
We did 3. Trifecta.
People wanted more. We're giving trifecta. We did the Kendrick joint that you submitted. We did the Kappa joint, and we did your boy. We did Cannabis. We did Cannabis.
Let me get this straight. You did the Cannabis and Capadonna verse?
Of course we did.
But AG texted me. AG said, yo, let's get cool. Let's do Cannabis and let's do
Capadonna.
And the people love it. And guess who's outpacing that Kendrick verse?
But both of those verses are 2 of the most iconic verses of all time, though.
Facts.
But in respect, Deck is my favorite Wu member, Coop, so don't get it twisted.
Ridiculous.
But both Capadonna and Inspector Deck can say that they boast one of the top 5 Wu verses of all time. I'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that. And we can move on.
No, you're not about to do that. We're not moving on. All right? I'm the moderator. Fuck all that. All right? Let me tell you how this is going to go. First of all, I like how you conveniently try to make it seem like, the Deck and the Kappa verses, it's like, those are top 5 Wu verses all the time. No,
they are.
No, the Deck verse is arguably a top 5 verse all time. Big difference between top 5 verse all time and top 5 Wu verse all time. Big difference. 2 different worlds. There's a Wu world, and then there's the rest of the world. The Deck verse might be a top 5 verse, period. Not try to equate them to the same thing. I see what you tried to do. I'm watching you.
I hear what you're saying, but them verses are not too far off from one another. It's levels to it, but them verses is not too far off from one another. It's
I would like to take this opportunity.
And Ghost Impossible's up there too, by the way.
Absolutely.
Ghost Impossible is up there.
Staten Island best, son. What you heard.
And it's funny you say, then we can move on. It's the Wu world and then the whole other world. You could argue that Impossible, and don't get it twisted, Deck is my guy. You could argue that Impossible is a better verse just on that album of Wu-Tang Forever than Deck on Triumph. That's an argument to be had.
There are verses on Ironman that are comparable to that Kappa verse.
Name one.
I mean, All That I Got Is You actually comes to
As
mind.
a song, not a particular verse, no.
It is one verse, though.
But it's not Winter Wars verse.
Yes, it is one whole verse. You're correct,
It is
but it's
one
still
whole
not
verse.
Winter Wars. It's not Winter Wars, though.
Not Winter Wars. Winter Wars got him a record deal. And it leapfrogged him over Deck.
Yo, that's what the old heads, you know what I'm saying, further back than our era would call Catch and Wreck. Winter Wars was Capadonna Catch and Wreck. All That I Got Is You is not Catch and Wreck.
Stop, cut it off. I'm reading super chats. AG's using words like catch and wreck, and we have to stay in 2024. I'm sorry. TJ the Kid with the super chat. Be honest, would you guys use a track off the Pillage against Native Tongue's Best? No, they would not use the track off the Pillage. If they used the track off the Pillage against the Native Tongues, I would pillage them with the Native Tongues.
I would
How about
use
that?
Yo, that sounded crazy. No. Super pause.
That was crazy.
How about that?
That was crazy.
And you said it with a smile on your face. Like,
that's crazy. He said he pillaging with the Native Tongues is wild, yo.
Wow.
That might be the wildest shit ever said on this channel, yo.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad when I think about it.
Yeah.
When I think about it, it's bad.
Oh my god!
We could probably chop that up for clicks and likes. Actually,
yeah. I wouldn't want to. Okay, all right.
But you get what I'm saying.
I don't.
You get what I'm saying.
Nah.
I don't know who sent that super chat, but thank you.
Super chat.
Thank you. That was CJ. Appreciate
you. Yo,
CJ.
shout out to CJ. Yo, that made my day because I was still kind of tight about that Chiefs talk. I ain't gonna hold you.
Chill out, man. Relax.
You need to let it go. You need to let it go.
Oh man, thank you. Oh,
Mad Max. Of course they outpace and dot. LOL. They better than him. We're not doing that today. I'm not having that dialogue today. No, we're not having that conversation today. Okay.
Max.
Andrew Williams. Let's keep it real. The Purple Tape is a Wu-Tang album. I know we like to say it's a Ray album, but if we're keeping it real, it's a Wu album. Well, hold on. Let's explore that concept. It's definitely a Ray and Ghost album, but I don't know if it's a Wu album because you got Knuckleheads with You God, you got Guillotine, another epic Deck verse. It might be a top 5 Wu verse.
I love that Deck verse. That's I think that's comparable to the Triumph verse, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
me too. I think they're in the same stratosphere.
And Jizzes as well on there.
I agree. You got the Capadonna run, which is on Ice Water and on Ice Cream.
Crazy on Ice Water, yeah, and Ice Cream.
I love him. Now, you want to know what? I love Kappa on the Purple Tape. Kappa on the Purple Tape. But everybody on the Purple Tape is special. That's why the Purple Tape is special.
Everybody.
Ice Water.
It's not like he's more special than like Method Man or Jizza or Deck or Ray or Ghost on there. It's like no, everybody's special on the Purple Tape, nigga.
Right. Well, to kind of dive into what he's saying on the super chat, I think people sometimes get confused as to saying, okay, every song has a collection of Wu members, or is at least a duo on the songs for the Purple Tape. And if you're looking at just numbers or on paper or the optics of it, yes, it looks like a Wu album. But the Wu doesn't talk about chambers for no reason, right? The Purple Tape album is Ray's specific chamber with Ghostface. It's not a Wu collective chamber that RZA went into for that album.
Yep.
The 36 chambers, Wu Forever, that's something else. It's something totally different. But RZA had to lock into a different frame of mind when crafting that album with the beats, because that was tailor-made for Ray's chamber as a solo artist, but also including Ghostface. It wasn't necessarily with the rest of the clan in mind. They had to get in where they fit in, you know what I'm saying, so to speak.
See, here's the thing. Of those early run of albums, that's actually the only one where I feel like the Wu-Tang tracks are intentional to show the group effort, which is Guillotine and Wu Gambino's. Like, those records are intentional to show the unity, because the rest of it is organically like Ray's Chamber with Ghost like
There you go.
along for the ride.
Yeah.
It's like the other Wu joints that are on the other Wu albums before it are like more organic, like Rawhide with Meth and Ray on Dirty's album. That's more organic. Sandman with Deck and RZA is more organic. Like Guillotine's intentional on the purple tape. Wu Gambino's is intentional on the purple tape.
Yeah. And
Like,
here's the thing.
to make it some Wu-Tang shit.
Yes, and to your point, Coop, since they're already a group, nobody talks about these records when we talk about the greatest posse cuts of all time, because they're already a group. But to your point, on these specific albums, they're the posse cut records. We got to get the crew.
It's so unfair to do that, because if we were to do a posse cut album list and let Wu-Tang in, let's say we would do a top 20 list. I'm not joking when I say at a bare minimum they would have 7 of them.
At least.
At a minimum, if you were to do 20 posse cut records and let Wu-Tang in, they would have at least 7 of them. Because it's like, what? Hold on. At what point does it become a posse cut? Is a posse cut at 3 or at 4?
4.
4.
4?
Mm-hmm. They got too many of those.
So they got.
You just named 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go back to the beginning. They got chess boxing. They got protect your neck.
Wu Gambino's, Guillotines, you know what I'm saying? And even if you just pull ones from the solo album, I mean, we're going to talk about Ironman later, but I love Assassination Day. And then you got Winter Wars.
They got Fourth Chamber.
There you go. Fourth Chamber is up there.
Yeah.
Anywhere between 5 to 7.
Does investigative reports count because You God is on the hook?
I wouldn't count that one.
I think so. I count hook work as bar work. Hooks matter.
When I'm thinking posse cut, I'm more so thinking 4 verses for me.
Okay, 4 verses. Okay, so 4 verses constitute posse cut to you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Fourth Chamber's making it, Chess Boxing's making it, Protect Your Neck's making it.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think just off the top of my head. 4 Guillotines making it.
Yep.
Wu Gambino's.
Yep.
Making it. Shit, you got the shit from Supreme Clientele. You got Wu Banger 101. You got Buck 50.
Mm-hmm.
You got 9 Millie Brothers on Fish Scale.
They're all over the place, bro.
They're all over
over the place.
It's literally all over the place. Yeah, it's not fair to everybody else. All right, next topic. Let's talk about where we're going to be, fellas, in a couple of weeks at the Southern Soul Music Festival in Shelby, North Carolina.
Sir, can't wait, man. Can't wait. Shout out to 8 AM Exposure. Good brother.
Yeah, shout out to LT, 8 AM Exposure. Shout out to Tony, everybody involved. We're pulling up soon. I'm currently working on some physical merchandise for us, so the merch is coming soon. I just had to do a little pickup and a little drop off, so I'm just waiting for a couple more things. So the merch is coming. We're coming. I'm excited. We got some big acts there. Like Youngbloods is going to be there. Our man LT is going to be performing.
Yep.
You know, I'm excited.
Well,
this is a big opportunity. So, like, now, what days are we going to be there, fellas?
I'm going to be on there Saturday the 9th.
And Coop, you can be on there Friday. And I'll be there Friday and Saturday.
My Friday may be changing to Saturday because I've been having a couple conversations, and I was reminded of something by somebody is that, better to pull up with the team than pull up on a solo mission when you got a team, especially when you're going somewhere you haven't gone in a long time, even though it's close to home for me. So I'm actually thinking about switching my plans to Saturday so that all 3 of us can actually be there at the same time on Saturday.
Saturday it is. Let's do it.
Yeah.
November 9th.
Because what's crazy is that, we've been doing this for, almost 6 months now?
Yeah.
Well, all 3 of us haven't been in the same time at the same place either. And so,
no.
So we need to make that happen. That's a good moment for us. That's a good moment for our fans. So right now, it looks like I'm tentatively switching my time to Saturday to make sure that the 3 of us actually get together.
No doubt.
Yeah. So that's how that goes. On to the next order of business. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some albums that have come out. Where are we starting? We starting with Warriors.
Yeah. Start there real quick.
This is
dope concept album.
This is motion picture shit, fellas. I'm gonna let you unpack it to start off. AG, go.
Yeah, this is a concept album executive produced by Nas, along with Lin-Manuel Miranda and Issa Davis. You know, they're this is the soundtrack to what I understand is going to be a play that's going to come out to represent the classic Warriors movie. So this album is very conceptual, based on the movie. And you know, I gave it a run through, and it's like pretty dope. But you got to get into the mindset of the movie. So if you haven't really seen the movie, you can't really connect with the soundtrack and the album. But you know, it's dope once you get in that mind frame conceptually. And the first track in particular, I think it's called "Surviving the Night." You got all the different boroughs to represent like the different gangs, like in the movie. So you got Nas representing Queens, I believe Busta representing Brooklyn, Cam representing Manhattan, Ghost and RZA representing Staten, and Pun Son, Big Pun Son representing the Bronx. And they're rapping from that perspective of trying to survive through the night like the Warriors did in the movie. So it's a fire concept, and you know, it's dope to hear all them in on a track together. I don't think Nas and Cameron, especially when they had their differences or whatever, they've never did a song together. So you know, it was dope to see them come together for this project. And I'll be interested to see how the play comes about. When it comes, you know, maybe if I'm in New York, that's something I would look to check out for sure.
That's a dope pull up. Actually, we can pull that off. Yeah, absolutely.
I would like that. These young women are talented. I want to hear more.
Absolutely. Yeah, AG hit it, man. I got nothing else to share to that. AG hit it. Dope album. I was happy to see Cam and Nas on the track together, albeit it was this. This is a concept album, so you have to have familiarity with the Warriors, the original movie, and understand the tone of this. You know, Lin-Manuel is a very talented brother, working with Nas for a few years now. This is like their second project together in some capacity. So I'm glad they were able to get this off the ground and get this moving. And I'm looking.
Sorry to cut you off real quick, Sean. If you're not familiar with Lin-Manuel, like he's who did Hamilton, you know. So
yes, yeah. Thank you, did Hamilton. This is phase one of this project that they got going on. Phase two will be the play, of course, and hopefully. I would love to see them. I don't want to give too much away until it gets fully released, but I would love to see them have the artists that actually did the music on this soundtrack do that in the same aspect of the play as well.
Okay, so we're going to talk about this very briefly later. So when I actually heard this concept album, as soon as I heard it, because this is what a good concept album does, lets you know that it's a concept album, I said to myself, oh no, this is based on a movie, but it's going to make an excellent play. I could tell it when I heard it. Unlike that Mr. Morale bullshit, all right, that everybody's trying to say is a concept album made into a play. No, motherfucker, this is a concept album made into a play. All right? I don't mean to take it out on YouTube. It's just people need to know, oh, this is what a concept album that's supposed to be made into a play. It's actually entertaining, sounds like. Entertaining.
I ain't gonna do that. I went to the Mr. Morale show. That shit was dope. I ain't gonna hold you.
Okay. AG, nobody asked you all that. Nobody asked you how the Mr. Morale show was. Nobody asked you that.
I ain't gonna let you misguide the people, Coop. I ain't gonna let you do that.
No. You've been miseducated by Mr. Morale.
I'm Laura Hill.
You've been brainwashed. You've been brainwashed. We can't get you back. Next topic.
I was on time for the show. I was saying I'm Laura.
Let's talk about the stabbed and shot to 38. This
dude is crazy. We got 2 more super chats.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get to the super chats. Then we go to the stabbed and shot. That's how I felt when AG's giving Kendrick props while I'm going on my diatribe. Stabbed and shot twice. CJ the Kid. Didn't Big Noy get a deal off his "Give Up the Goods" verse? Is that better than Capadonna's "Winter Wars" verse?
No,
It's not.
not even the
I'm not
same.
sure if he got a deal off of it. A lot of people have gotten deals off of verses before. I mean, Nas's whole original buzz is based on the Live at the Barbecue verse. AZ got the whole deal with EMI based on one verse with the Life's a Bitch verse.
Mhm.
You know, one great verse can change your life. I think Redman's verse on Headbanger.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Redman's verse on Headbanger, like, yeah. DMX rapping "Get at Me, Dog" with his jaw wired up because some niggas he had robbed jumped him and beat his ass.
Yep.
You know, there have been moments where people have just like, you know, off the strength of a verse have like secured the whole deal.
Yeah.
Andrew,
I lost the deal because of my moment.
What?
Okay.
I lost the deal because of me freestyling for A&R. You were like, man, you can't put that shit out. Get him out of here.
I've heard this story, but
Yeah.
Okay. So
Shut up.
so you played ball and you was rapping at the same damn time.
Yeah.
Oh, Al Iverson ass nigga.
Yeah.
Lying ass nigga. You just one lying.
Hip hop, man. I'm hip hop.
Nigga. Andrew Williams with the 199 super chat. But everyone from Wu was on the purple tape itself.
No Dirty. Dirty wasn't on there.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He don't fit that. He didn't fit that.
No, that's what I mean about the whole Chambers. It's just different. He didn't fit that chamber, so he went on the album, or he just didn't show up to studio sessions. If we're being real.
But he would have fit on Wu Gambino's or Guillotine. I would have liked to hear Dirty on Guillotine or Wu Gambino's.
I don't see it.
You don't fit that cool.
Wu Gambino's? You can't see him on Wu Gambino's? I can.
I can't see it.
Wu Gambino's
I can see him on Knuckleheads.
Wu Gambino's has chest boxing like qualities to me. I could see him kind of like doing having one of his spasm moments on Gambino's.
Not on that one. Not the aesthetic that they were going with. He couldn't be on that album.
Knuckleheads will be the one if it was one.
I'm cool with taking Master Killer's verse out on Wu Gambino's and putting a dirty verse in.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
We can't do that.
I'm talking Wu Gambino.
I'm gonna say it again. Coop, take the shirt off.
Yeah. Not
Oh.
T-shirt under it, but yeah. T-shirt. Cooper, I got a tank top, like a Jamaican tank top. The joint that got the holes in it.
You know the G the white beats.
Y'all spending too much time talking about my shirt.
Got a brazier top on it.
Spending too much time talking about my shirt. All right.
My bad, cool.
Spend a little bit of time talking. You know, watch
the
time.
The fishnet tank top is crazy.
Fishnet tank top.
Need to watch the time, Sean. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, cool, right?
Stab this shot, yo. Did y'all see the promo with the 38 with the USB?
No, they should have just put you two niggas right there. Stabbed and shot.
Oh,
yeah, that's crazy. Yo, the album is hard though. I ain't go front, man. That album was crazy.
Yeah.
Look, 38 Special did his thing, man. I think he was the highlight of the album. You know, punchlines, metaphors, all that, the delivery, and real witty too. You know what I'm saying? Special got that witty delivery. And he was the highlight of the album for me. It sounded like a complete album. They was doing their whole back and forth, you know, in and out flow stuff periodically through the album. And if we're doing comparisons like we love to do, I think 38 got him on this album. Got Benny, but still yet, Benny's had a fantastic, I don't want to say a fantastic, but he's had a great year, you know what I'm saying, with you know what I'm saying, Summertime Butch, this album, and you know what I'm saying, and then his Def Jam debut. So yeah, I think Benny's had a hell of a year, but I've listened to this album multiple times over the week. It's a 3-song run that I keep going back through. That's Center Stage, Brick Specials, and Jesus Arms. That 3-song run within the album, I keep going back to those over and over. Love those joints.
I disagree. I think Benny was the standout.
Really?
I do. I think this may sound crazy, so don't.
It usually does when it's you. Keep going.
I bring balance. I bring the real stone. I bring the balance stone.
Bring balance.
I bring the balance stone. I bring the balance stone because last week Coop said that that Glorilla was was a 5 rating album. Cool. Did you listen to Glorilla this week?
No, I didn't listen to Glorilla.
Exactly. As I was saying,
I appreciate your honesty, Coop.
Yeah, I appreciate your honesty. As I was saying,
I'm also gonna be honest and say we need to put some cranberry juice in your vodka because you need to slow down. You need to put some cranberry juice in your vodka, nigga. Some orange juice. We some lime in there and do something.
Yo, man,
that is not water that you were drinking.
It was.
Nah.
Man. I feel good.
Nah, that Grey Goose and cranberry hit different.
It hit different.
No, I got here drinking Ciroc even after the Diddy shit.
I'm not drinking. I got AU vodka. This is actually pretty good. A strawberry joint too. It's good.
Don't be promoting these niggas. They ain't giving us no money.
That's the goal, cool.
But they could though.
What you doing? Come on, man. You from Atlanta, man.
Are they from Atlanta?
No, I'm just saying you from Atlanta. You know the hustle. You know what I mean?
Shit.
Yo, come on, man. You flash it real quick and they call you up like, hey, thanks for the flash. Do you want to do some business? Hey, AU vodka, strawberry burst just came out. Tastes delicious. See how you do that?
That was a paid ad.
I feel about your ad the way I feel about Capadonna.
Wow. That's you're going a little too far now. No, man, listen. 38 Special did his thing, and this may sound wild, but yes, Benny has been busy this year.
Yeah.
Benny sounds better when he has a compliment to him, which is crazy because his first album released on Def Jam, it was solid. It was okay. It just didn't have staying power. It didn't have legs. You know what I mean? Like Coop said, Glorilla had the best album, and it didn't have legs after.
I didn't say it had the best album. I said it was a good album, and it
was a good album. And he didn't listen to it afterwards. So I mean, it really wasn't good. He was just saying it for the moment. He was in the moment, and I get it. It's emotional IQ. It's emotional IQ versus emotional intelligence.
I don't listen to you. That doesn't mean you're not a good person.
I'm just saying it's emotional IQ versus emotional intelligence, and his emotional IQ is very what? I'm sorry. I digress.
Benny, Sean. Benny.
So Benny did really well with 38 Special. When you think about Benny's original project when he was solo, it just didn't have the legs. You know what I mean? And to have someone on the side of him, like a 38 or Conway or whoever else, you know, that collaborates with him, I think it brings the best out of Benny. I'm being honest with you.
His solo album for Def Jam is called Everybody Can't Go, but you saying he need to like take that back and bring somebody with him.
Bring everybody with him. Right. That's a good point.
So what you're saying is everybody can go?
Everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to go. Yeah, everybody can come with me. And look, there's nothing wrong with that, honestly, because everyone needs like they need an antithesis, or they need like a Batman to the Robin, or need like a yin to the yang. And I believe with Benny, he shines the best when he has someone that can balance him out. Because I do think that Benny can drown you out so much with his content, because it's like this. It's steady. It's steady. He needs someone to kind of spike it real quick. And I think that 38 Special spiked it a little bit. Was that crazy? It wasn't crazy, right? 38 Special kind of gave him that extra punch because he was funny. His lyrics, like honestly, it has some character to it.
He's witty, man. Real witty.
Witty. And I think that Benny needed that wit. Because Benny's a serious spitter, right? And 38 Special brings that wit to it. You know what I mean? Like, cool. You know when you're a serious guy, so you need someone to kind of give you like that, you know, to bring out that other side of you. Like, cause you smiling right now. You know what I mean? When you was, you know, in your former life, you weren't smiling that much. Cool.
Your former life is crazy.
Like, you weren't smiling that much. Cool. You was like, yeah, I'm the
It's a smug smile, but he's smiling.
Yeah, I'm the power father. I'm the best thing out of here. You know what I mean? So you was in that zone. But now you got two guys that can, you know, make you smile and make you feel, you know, have fun again. You know what I mean? So I think with 38 Special, no disrespect to anybody, excluding nobody. But 38 Special bring the wit to the conversation, and Benny did his thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say to wrap up this conversation, I believe the truth, as usual, because neither one of you is ever really right. That's usually me. The truth somewhere in the middle. I don't think either one of them is the star of this album. I think the chemistry that they have is the actual star of the album. 38 and Benny have legit like 1-2 punch chemistry. And I wouldn't call it, it's got some Stockton and Malone to it. You know what I'm saying? It does, where it's like, well, not the same game, but the game complements each other so well the way that they play together. And so Benny's steely, unbreakable stance meets 38 Special's insightful and like you know, witty, shocking metaphor, punchline. And so what it really is it's like, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, it's like listening to two guys in the same trap house, but they got totally different views on how the trap house is operating. Like Benny's telling you how the trap house is actually like operating. He's like, this is the doorman. This is what the doorman does. You know what I'm saying? 38 is like looking out the window. It's like, man, we could get life for this shit, nigga. This is crazy.
In a joking way, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like is laughing about it, like while he's like cleaning the pistol. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
so, from that perspective of bringing you into that world, they do a good job of keeping you entertained. The bar work on here is excellent. I do feel like 38 is a scene stealer, but I feel like his scene stealing capability takes place because of how steady Benny is on the mic. I can see. That's what I mean is like Benny is actually like Stockton on this, setting 38 up to be Malone and get easy buckets. So 38 sounds great on here, but it's because Benny is helping him and putting him in position like a point guard to like sound this great. And the compliments are well. It actually made me think about this too. Like he may not have that bona fide classic that we've been like clamoring for, but Benny is remarkably consistent, guys. Most of his projects are good. Some of them stick to your ribs more than others. Some of them stick to your ribs more than others.
It's not bad.
But it's rare. Like he really doesn't make anything below a 3.5, guys. It's rare.
I agree.
That's true.
And most of the stuff that he usually makes is closer to 4 than 3.5. And this is another one of those. I haven't quite decided if it's a 4 yet, but it feels pretty close to that for me. And I was pretty impressed by it. And you're right, he's having a good year. The summertime butch, everybody can't go. The stabbed and shot too. It's like, no, this is another great year from Benny. If you actually look at it, he's been the one that's actually been kind of like keeping the flag of Griselda alive.
Absolutely.
It has been waning some.
Absolutely.
It waning some. It's waned some.
But you spoke to the chemistry though, and I'm not going to say album for album because it's not fair because one was an EP. But do you feel that the chemistry between Special and Benny was better than Rome and Conway on their respective project?
Yes,
I do too.
Yes,
I do too.
Like significantly.
Yeah, it's not even. I'm about to say not even conversational.
Yeah.
Right.
Like. How about this? Rome and Conway write rhymes together. Benny and 38 like write rhymes together and then go to a pool hall and eat chicken wings and drink Jack Daniels and drink beer and hit on broads together. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
You can tell the difference.
It's different. It's like, nah, like 38 get drunk and fall asleep like on the floor in Benny's living room. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear that. Yeah. Like you can hear that.
Dope project.
Yeah, but dope project. All right, another project. Same camp, kind of, sort of. Drumwork side of the Griselda affiliates. Love the Genius with Death of Deuce. Sean, slide it to you this time.
I loved it. I told you guys behind the scenes that I felt like this album, it's a dope album, man. She's spitting. She's in the zone in this album. And I'll leave it to you, Coop, because you did brought up a very, very good point that had me rethink a little bit what I was thinking about in the very beginning. This was a very easy listening album. To me, I think Papoose actually stood out on this album, in my opinion. I think Papoose sounded great. I think it sounded fresh. It reminded me how dope Papoose really is, honestly. And I felt like he did his thing on this album. I think the features complimented her a little bit more than I've heard her in the past. I wanted to, it's crazy because I wish that she would have done a collaborative album to kind of, give a little bit more punch to it, or to give a little bit more zing to it or whatever. But she was killing it, man. She was on point with this album.
AG?
Yeah, I've only gave the album one run through, but what I will say, I thought it was like very dope. And, just like I said, Benny is having a great year. I think the ladies are having a great year. We got some high quality projects between Love the Genius, the Doechii, and then also the Rhapsody. So you can throw this into the fold. And then we got Che coming, I believe tonight. If not tonight, next week. Che Noir, she's gonna drop. She dropped a single with Rhapsody called Black Girl. Was pretty dope. But anyway, I think the ladies are having a great year, and this is one to put in the fold. So I'm definitely going to run it back some more. I just couldn't get away from the Benny and 38 Special to run it more than once, but I'm definitely going to check it out some more.
Yeah. I've had the pleasure of interviewing Love twice. It's kind of funny. I feel like her career kind of started taking off around the time that I started doing this podcasting thing. And so I've kind of always felt connected to her. I've kind of like, as I guess, more people have found out about who I am in this sphere. And, I've made, sometimes in jest and sometimes in serious nature about people who, copy my style and have taken my stuff over the years. I've always kind of followed Love and embodied like how my podcast career is going is comparable to hers. And Sean, I think it's kind of funny how you brought up, it's like, oh, well, no, in your former life, you really didn't smile as much as you smile here. People that probably pull up here that used to watch me over there probably aren't even used to seeing me smile as much. Like, who the fuck is this nigga? But much like what's going on with me is that I feel like Love has gotten comfortable in her environment. And I feel that comfortable nature has manifested itself in terms of how she MCs. She's never sounded this comfortable on the mic to me as she does right now. Mm-hmm. It feels like it is just flowing out of her and that it's just coming. And that her pocket of rhyme, her cadence and her style, there's that moment where it slows down for you and you like find your style. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And this is the project where I really feel like she found her cadence and her flow and her delivery that's going to continue to work from her from now on. It's identifiable. My problem with it is that, and I said this behind the scenes, well, too many people are going to identify it with Rhapsody, and I don't like that for her because that puts a ceiling on her. And I don't mean that to slight Rhapsody. Shout out Rhapsody. Shout out Carolina. I love Rhapsody. And her album is still in contention for album of the year. And fundamentally speaking, like technically the Rhapsody album is better, but there's something about this Love album that feels a little bit more silky, a little smoother, a little easier to listen to. It's got like a vibe to it that's a little bit more enchanting, engaging. And that's what I mean about putting the ceiling on her by comparing her to Rhapsody with this album, is because I feel like she's just really really started to unpack and find herself as an MC. And so immediately to tag her with that label right now, I think is unfair to her, because not saying that she is greater than Rhapsody, but the scope of what she can provide this spectrum might be greater in terms of some of the records that she makes. Like some of the vibes on some of these records, I know that an album is dope when my critiques of the record are in the nuances of the record, because here are my critiques of the record. She need more ad libs. She need more people singing some of these hooks that she's singing instead of her to give these songs a fuller feel. When I talk about a fuller feel, I always reference songs on Aquemini. It's like, oh no, there's a choir over here. There's a keyboard over there. You know what I'm saying? There's a baby giggling in the background, Timberland style on this record. You know what I mean? Like full. because what I think she's gotten to the point as an MC where I think she's found her cadence and her flow and she's comfortable and she sounds great in that. Her beat selection has gotten better in my opinion, even though I feel like there are some records on here had I feel like the beats been a little bit better. Like the beats needed to be as good as she is on the mic. I'll give you an example. Cheat Codes by Black Thought and Danger Mouse isn't good because Black Thought is good. It's because the beat Danger Mouse gave Black Thought is good. Black Thought's good on the mic. You feel me?
Mhm.
I feel like if she would have picked more beats that fit, this album could have been a little bit better. But these are just splitting hairs. I was impressed. And I tend to be by her, but I can tell that she's like in a pocket and in a place. And so I think the only thing now is to just refine and glow up. And so I start hearing the little shit that comes with MC. And it's like, look at it like this. Watch them niggas by Nas on It Was Written. It's like, no. That song's not the same with him just singing the hook.
Yeah.
Foxy singing the hook gives that song a totally different feel.
Mhm.
Singing that hook with him. She needs some of that on some of these records. The record is there. It's just those little things. And so, and here's where I say this, and it's critical, but it's more of a critique. I feel like if she were with Westside and not with Conway, some of these nuances might be covered because I feel like he's more into the details of it. That's why some of Conway and Benny's stuff has sounded the way that it sounded over the years.
Right.
Because he's made sure that those bases have gotten covered.
Yep. Westside is that guy.
So, so Westside's that guy in the camp that makes sure that those things are taken care of. And so it lets me know that she really is signed to Drumwork. And so the pen game is going to be sharp from being around Conway all the time. So like Love and Skis are going to be sharp. They're around Conway all the time. But are the details going to be covered? Is it going to sound full like it does when Westside makes a project?
Right.
Right. And so, truthfully, I just think she need to maybe like walk 2 doors down and be like, hey, I'm going to have your brother produce my next joint. Because I think that's really,
Yeah.
I think
That'd be the move.
I think that's the next move, but I was impressed with the project. Lastly, and then we can slide to the next thing. Hatton Garden, the Rome Streetz and Derringer.
Dope.
Tough song. Tough song.
Boom bap. Bap boom.
I'm liking Derringer more, as he progresses.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of Derringer at first, but yeah, he's doing his thing.
He has a pocket.
Mhm.
That's his pocket. Yeah.
Can I tell you the truth? I thought it was just okay. I really didn't love it like everybody else is loving it.
Yeah. It's dope. It's just dope.
I think it's going to go hard, really.
I like it, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Well, beat-wise, I knew Derringer could do this. Rhyme-wise, I knew Rome Streetz could do this. What are they really introducing and bringing to the table that makes this any different than anything that they've been doing lately? It's another notch in the belt. It's another notch in the belt. Is that what it is? It's not pushing the envelope. It's
checking the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a check in the box. Like, Rome is dope, but I would like to hear some more depth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here's what I mean when I'm saying more depth. Nobody's asking you to be KRS-One or Tupac or Chuck D. Stove's verse on Vogue cover, where he's like, Pug had me sitting at his house for 7 hours. He mowed the lawn, washed all the cars, watered the flowers. Back in my mind, I'm like, damn, nigga, go get the power.
We need Stove.
Patience is the virtue. Like the last free throw shots when you down. He's still talking his talk.
Yes.
But he's painting a picture for you.
Panache.
About how it's actually happening.
Yes.
Plug had me sitting at his house for 7 hours. You like, oh shit. You spent the day with the plug?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Panache. Yes.
Yes. And so the Rome album doesn't have that. It has the punchlines. It has the bars. The beats by Derringer, it's like, oh no, I get it. You're a top 5 producer right now. The beats are dreary, boom bap. slowed down East Coast. It's and I like those style of beats. It's like I tell everybody, it's like you can thank DJ Premier making Come Clean for all the beats that sound like the beats that Derringer makes, because that's where
It's in that wheelhouse.
Yeah.
that's where the origin of all those beats come from. Like
Yeah.
to me, all of those beats are Come Clean,
That's a good point.
which there's nothing wrong with that being the barometer for
Yeah.
like boom bap.
That's classic. That's classic.
Like, yeah, so I
Yeah.
get it. But it's like, no, nothing about it excited me though.
Right.
Fair.
No.
It was just
No,
like,
absolutely.
okay, I'm cool. That's what I mean about Benny and 38's chemistry being the highlight. It's like, oh no, what they talking? It's like, oh no, that's how they always talk. But it excited me because their chemistry was so good. And it was so entertaining.
Exactly. They draw you in. Yeah, they draw you in.
Yeah, you got to throw a storyline in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta switch the speed up. You got
right. And that's what Stove do all the time.
Let's keep it Wu-Tang. One of the records that I chose today, the MGM, up in the MGM, coked up, psych,
right?
6 niggas. They telling the story different.
Different.
They ain't just talking the street shit from.
Yeah, they bring you into that world.
So you like a quarter brick, split you like a half a brick. You like no, like they really bringing you, like they bringing you in. They bring you into the sidelines with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. Like so what I would tell you that project needs is they need to take people behind the rope more, a little bit more.
No, I feel you on that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You ain't gotta be like all conscious or like most deaf with it. Like y'all seen, like you don't gotta do that.
Yeah.
You know. Think about
bring some flair to it. Bring some personality to it.
Give me some Freddie action. You know what I'm saying? Like Gibbs is exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll talk about shit that he used to do, but he'll talk about it in the reference of still like keeping his steeds together. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. But it's also vocal inflection too, because you think about, you know, when like you mentioned Stove, and he's like, what? He said, Feds gave us a pop quiz and we aced it. You know what I mean? Just it's the way it's the way you spit it, way you say it. Right?
Keeps you engaged. Keeps you engaged.
Keeps you engaged. Not monotone. It keeps you engaged.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I would like to be entertained, nigga.
Right. Do your job.
Shit. All this money I'm paying for all these subscriptions. Entertainment, nigga.
Yeah. We got a couple of super chats, fellas.
You know, here's what every artist's goal should really be in this era is to make somebody enough of a fan to go cop your merch and your physical copies. Like that's the goal. And so all of these albums are good, but it's like I want all of these people to level up too, because it's like I want to cop your merch. Like, look, we're all wearing merch from our favorites. You and me, Sean, we're wearing Wu-Tang shit. You're wearing Nas shit. It's like we're fans.
Yeah.
So we don't even be looking for it, but when we see it, we'd be like, okay, all right, yeah, I need that. All right, give me that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we do as fans. The goal is to make us fans. Make me your fan, nigga.
Yep.
Like the music is what does that. Like I was watching that Netflix shit, like how We Are the World got made.
That was a dope doc.
It was.
It really was. It really was.
But it's like, no, like you see who different up in there. It's like, no, the nigga Ray Charles different. It's like Stevie different. Mike is different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like shit to aspire to desire to, like the shit, like you can, like you realize why it's like why those people have legions of fans. It's like, oh no, they like that. You know what I'm saying? Even on the humble after the award show, getting drunk and probably sniffing cocaine in the bathroom when the cameras ain't running and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, man, look here. Whoever was the dope dealer that night with all of those stars in the house, they're probably about 2 or 3 keys went there. About 2 or 3 keys. They got there at 11. They stayed up till 7 in the morning. How the hell you think they stayed up after an award show to 7 in the morning?
Retirement plan.
And they ate Roscoe's chicken and waffles. So y'all ate chicken and waffles after 11 o'clock at night. Y'all stayed up till 7. Man, They did more skiing in the Winter
You got
Olympics.
you got to counteract the itis.
Yeah.
Right. Diana Ross was sitting next to Smokey talking about whole brick, quarter brick, half a brick.
Allegedly, man. Allegedly. Man. Allegedly. Y'all talking about me. Allegedly. Love you, Diana.
I'm just telling you, we're going to get to the super chats right quick. CJ the Kid with another dub. An extra 20 just because I need to see it. I need to see that Stagehead so I can see a Pillage track played against Beat Nuts.
Run.
Or De La's best stuff.
Playing Run.
I do the artwork. You want to know what? Y'all want to do a Native Tongues Wu-Tang? I mean,
do it. You take Native Tongues.
I mean, even though I'm a Wu guy too, it's like somebody has to take the Native Tongue, so I will. It's not like it's some sort of disgrace in that. It's the Native Tongue.
It'd be a clean sweep, but yeah, sweeping you about the mat.
You ain't sweeping shit. You ain't
Run.
sweeping shit.
Run off the
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, you're not sweeping shit. His Tribe's album catalog is better than Wu-Tang's album catalog. They may not be the better group, so you're not just like waxing me over here. Let's not get that twisted. And it's native tongue. So I got De La, I got Jungle Brothers.
Let's put it to the test.
I got Latifah and all that too. Oh yeah,
Let's get them right. Every last one of them out of here.
Feel that.
Feel easy work.
You ain't about to run me like you think.
Easy work.
Ain't no running Tribe and De La's catalog like that. They got a better catalog than Wu.
Easy work.
Easy work.
Easy work.
I got your Easy E, nigga. Okay. I ain't no Jerry Curl ass nigga.
Easy work.
Where the super chat at? Some bullshit. CJ the Kid, that was wild. 2 guys to make you smile and have fun again is crazy work.
That was crazy.
Okay. First of all,
I was hoping you didn't see that one.
CJ, CJ, I told y'all about
AG, man. That was crazy.
CJ, I'm gonna tell you like I tell AG all the time. Please stop encouraging Sean.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. Do that in public.
CJ,
shoot him a DM on Twitter or something. Like nobody wants to. Just CJ, keep that.
Yeah, sorry.
That out the street, sir. Keep that out the street, sir. Okay, Ill Magic. You guys still have Rhapsody's album held high for album of the year. I still do, fellas.
I do too.
Still in the top 5, top 3. Where you have it?
Absolutely in the top 3.
Top 3 for sure.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Tater Tots. Okay, that just makes me want to say pause. Just the fact that somebody's name is Tater. Super chat. I don't know.
What's wrong?
Just made me want to say pause. It just feels like that type of show.
What's wrong with Tater Tots? Yeah, that's crazy.
Say, Coop, where you rank Sean P?
Made me think of Napoleon Dynamite.
A+ delivery. No. Good question, Coop. Where you rank Sean P? A+ delivery and bars, in my opinion. Now Tater Tots. Thank you for chiming in. I don't know what Sean P you talking about because I'm from Atlanta, so my Sean P is Sean Paul from the Youngbloods. Are you talking about Sean Price? Talking about Sean Price?
Sean, I hope you said Sean Price. Yeah, that's Sean. That's on the Sean.
You know, with Sean Price, I understand why people love him, and I'm a fan. I think he would fall outside my top 50 though, but he would be right outside the 50. He would be one of those. It would be tough for him to crack my 50 because I would put somebody like a Cameron ahead of him. I do feel like people with abbreviated tenures, like a Big Pun or a Big L, would be ahead of him, and so it would be hard for him to put him in my top 50. But he was great.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not getting no easy work off me with this Native Tongues thing.
Easy.
You know what? You want to know? I might actually beat you. Matter of fact, AJ, you want to stay out of this? You want to stay out of this, AJ?
Oh no, I'm representing the Wu because you said you was a Wu fan, but if you trying to hate on Winter Wars, that your Wu fandom got an asterisk beside it.
I'm not on Winter Wars. I'm just saying you guys got Winter Wars way higher than I did.
It sounded like hate to me. I don't know, but
I mean, just because somebody rapped for 2 minutes straight, don't mean. Never mind. All right. It does kind of sound like hate when I say it like that. I'm just gonna be quiet.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's kind of the truth though. Let's go to anniversaries, guys. Where we want to start? We starting in order of how old these fucking projects are. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Ironman just celebrated its 28th anniversary, fellas. Came out on October 18th. of 1996. Classic album. To me, this was part of the most classic run of hip hop albums that any crew, collective, from any time period that we've seen, pretty much from any group in hip hop history. I think it's the anchor in a very, very special moment in time that hasn't been replicated or duplicated since. I would ask both of you gentlemen to highlight some of your memories for Ironman and give me your top 3 tracks off of Ironman.
Damn good question, bro.
And Sean, give me 3 tracks. Don't be trying to do that 4, 5, 6 track shit because it's Ghost. 3.
Yo,
Uno, dos, tres.
You know, Ghost is my. If Nas is 1A, Ghost is 1B in my personal pantheon of hip hop. That's personal. I said me. Wildflower, love Wildflower.
Really?
Poisonous
Top
Darts.
3? Top 3? Wildflower, Poisonous Darts are making your top 3?
Yeah.
That's crazy. They might be in my bottom 3.
Yeah, but this is mine. That's why it's important for me to say it is mine.
No. I mean, it's proof. No. It's proof positive that my taste is good and your taste is suspect.
No, it's
but it's
not.
also proof positive that Iron Man is a classic because of these.
That's what you said. You asked me. You said, "What is yours?" As in mine.
Well,
So,
I regret every question that I ask you, Sean. So let's not make this the premise or the base.
I love Black Jesus too. My bonus track is Marvel. Man, watch out! She's saltwater trout. You went crazy.
Yeah, Marvel's hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's mine. Yeah.
Those are all my bottom feeders, but this album is brilliant, so it doesn't matter.
Brilliant album.
AG.
Real quick, just about the album itself, one of my favorite albums of all time. You know, I talked about the chambers earlier, you know, and this is a different chamber that RZA went in for the Iron Man album compared to Cuban Link. And this may sound crazy, but I don't think those two albums are far off from each other as a lot of people would think. Cuban Link is the better album, but I don't think it's a big gap between the two of them. But RZA had to go in a different chamber for this album, and I think it's me and Sean that had this discussion many times, and it's more of a soulful chamber versus the Gambino, like, you know what I'm saying, the mafioso style of Cuban Link. But at any rate, I think that this album, Ghost talked about this album a lot, saying he didn't have fun making this album because he was in a depression.
Yep.
So I don't think you can make an album like this soulful without being in kind of one of those type of mind states. You know what I'm saying? So I think that speaks a lot to the mood of the album. But my 3 favorite joints, this is on the fly, man. I love Daytona 500, but it's not going to make my top 3. I'm going to replace it with 1. In no particular order, I'm going to go Winter Wars, of course. I'm going to go Fish. True Master did his thing on the beat. That's not RZA. True Master, that's one of his shining moments. That beat is crazy. But for my 3rd pick instead of Daytona 500, where I'm going to go with is Motherless Child. I think that's one of the RZA beats that don't get talked about enough. That beat is insane. RZA lost his mind on that.
AG, as far as the beat is concerned, I'm with you. I think that might be a top 20 RZA beat.
Yeah, I was going to say Daytona 500, but I had to, replace that with Motherless Child. And I'm going to get an honorable mention. I know you said not more than 3, Coop, but I want to talk about Assassination Day because it goes to my other point where Ghost said that he was so depressed during that time. He didn't even want to record a verse for Assassination Day. He's not on that song. He was just like, nah, I don't even want to be on that. You feel me? So, I mean, wonderful album. I got it, right here, quick vinyl show. You know what I'm saying? The colors, the vibrant colors of the album was classic at the time. You know what I'm saying? I got the special edition, the blue and cream, like the Wally Clarks. You know what I'm saying? And just a great time, man. Got the even classic Iron Man action figure. I don't know if y'all can see that with the glare to go with the cover. It's one of them ones, man. I don't think it's too far off from Cuban Link, man. That might be a hot take, but I think it's close.
When you say it's not far off from Cuban Link, what I would submit to you is that you know what it is? It's like comparing Michael Jordan's '88 MVP season to his '95 MVP season. Is he the same player? Is he like averaging 35, 8 and 8? It's like, no, he's averaging 32, 6 and 6. It's not that far off from 35, 8 and 8, but it's not 35, 8 and 8. And so I do agree with you that Iron Man isn't as far off from the purple tape as people think. I think what you have with the purple tape is that those classic songs are 10s.
Mm-hmm.
And the classic songs on Iron Man are like 9s and 9.5s. They're classic. They're just not as classic. It's like, oh no, Assassination Day is fucking brilliant. It's just not as classic as Guillotine.
No,
now, making the top 20 Wu Posse cuts, is Assassination Day making it? Yeah. Does Assassination Day making the top 10? Maybe. Probably. Very good chance. But is it Guillotine? It's like, no. And so that's the thing with Iron Man. The material is there. I think just to proof positive, because I'm just going to tell you my 3 right quick, how great Iron Man is the fact that all 3 of us are about to pick 3 songs in a possible, and none of us are picking the same fucking songs. Like, not one. Because my 3 is actually AG, you and me are both picking Fish. So that would be the one. I'm picking Iron Maiden, Fish, and Camé, and Daytona 500 would be my possible.
Love Camé, yeah.
I love Camé. I love that beat the Camé. But to me, Camé and Fish, like that stretch where it goes from Winter Wars to Camé is where the album becomes special, because I think that's where you like hear Ghost. It's like, oh no, that's not that mafioso shit. That's Ghost.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like early on in the album, like Iron Maiden is purple tape. It's just Ghost side of the purple tape. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with 260. It's like, oh no, that's very purple tape. Like 260 is just like Spot Rushers. You know what I'm saying?
And we didn't even mention after the smoke is clear. Like, it's joints that was left on the table that we didn't even say, man. It's crazy.
Assassination Day, Assassination and Faster Blade or Wu-Tang joints without Ghost even on them. And so that stretch where it goes after Winter Wars, like Box in Hand, Fish, Camé, I'm like, oh no, this is starting to sound like Ghost album. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so those would be my joints. I think Iron Man, and this is probably getting some 96 treatment too. It's not just, it's getting purple tape and 96 treatment, because it's like,
very good point. Very good point.
It's getting compared to the purple tape because it's pretty much the same host of characters a year later. You know what I'm saying? It's just, well, we're going in the Ghost Chamber. It's like, oh, well, Ghost Chamber ain't as good as Ray Chamber. It's like, oh, actually, technically, it is.
It is.
It just hasn't been refined yet. And quite frankly, all the beats everybody wanted to rap on just got eaten up on Liquid Swords and the purple tape.
Right. And what I love about it was the diplomacy of it, because Ray got a solo joint on Ghost's album and Ghost got a solo joint on Ray's album. I love that. I love that.
And Kappa is right there standing tall between both of them.
First of all, he's not standing tall because Ray is still the best MC on this album. So stop that. Okay.
But Kappa, he's literally right here.
That's why I said, like, he's right.
Chef Raekwon is actually the best MC on this album. And so the biggest
during that time, Raekwon was,
the biggest knock you could have on Ghost solo album is the fact that, well, Ray is the better rapper still a year later on this album. Yeah. But listen to what I'm about to say. But this was probably the last time Ray was a better rapper than Ghost. So.
Yeah, Wu-Tang Forever was pretty even, and then he passed him at Supreme.
Correct. He didn't just pass Ray. Don't get it twisted. He just
passed everybody.
Well, he passed about 95% of the industry.
Yeah. Let's keep it. Yeah. There you go.
So shout out to Ghost and Iron Man. It's definitely a classic. Mad Max says Iron Man is good, but it's not Supreme, let alone purple tape. Come on now, AG, stop it. There's a big gap. So here's what I'll tell you.
Okay.
I think there's an argument between Iron Man and Supreme. Supreme feels better. I do feel like the beats on Supreme might be better. But contextually speaking, I think Iron Man and Supreme are actually very comparable. That's part of why I hold Ghost so high. It's because it's like, how about this? It's like, well, no, it's like how many people got he may not. Neither one of those albums are top 10 albums, but it's like how many rappers are walking around with 2 top 50 albums? Because I know Ghost is.
Yeah.
Can I reveal a secret? We had a whole station head playing the battle Ironman and Supreme Clientele. I mean, not Supreme Clientele. Ironman and Cuban Linx. And the playlist was already curated match for match.
Oh, that's still coming. That's still coming.
It's closer. It's closer than what y'all thinking.
Yeah.
It's very close.
No, it's not. That's in y'all's minds. Don't do that to Iron Man.
I'm telling you, Coop, it's very close.
No, it's not. Ice Water, like it doesn't even matter how you curate it. I mean, if you go in order, it's like if you go in order, it's nasty work.
We ain't going in order. That's lazy man's work.
I mean, that's fine. You even try to curate. Like, no, you can't curate your way around the purple tape tracks on Iron. No, I'm sorry.
It's close.
It's not close. Like both of them 17 tracks, right?
Yeah.
Like okay, so like
it's like 9-8 close is what I'm saying.
10-7. Not 9-8. Y'all bugging. Y'all are bugging.
But
right.
Cool. Trust it. We gotta send it to Coop. Send it to Coop so he can hear it.
I'll send it to him. You can run it through. You know what I'm saying?
I'll play it.
You know, yeah, I got the players. I'll send it to you on whatever your DSP is. I gotta say.
I'm everywhere. Send it to my YouTube or my Apple.
Okay.
We got some major super chats. Cool.
Sean, I'm international. Don't shake your head like that, sir. I'm international. Okay. Jermaine Jackson. I believe that we definitely would not have gotten all that I got as you the way that we got if Ghost was happy and not suffering from depression. Maybe, but that was also like, Ghost makes a lot of we made it songs. You know what I'm saying? Like we beat our circumstances and struggles types of song. He was always that kind of rapper, so I'm not certain that he wouldn't have made something comparable like that, even with his mind state being what it was. Because you got to think about it. It's like, even though he might have been suffering from depression, he doesn't sound depressed on Iron Man.
He did.
No, he did. He did.
So he did an excellent job.
I know until years ago when he talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, he did an excellent job of hiding it, but this is why mental health and illness is real as well. Quite
got another one, Cool. It's a big one. Pause.
Wow. Shout out CJ.
CJ the Kid. Native Tongues. Beyond Tribe, De La, Jungle, Latifah, and Moni. Also has Black Sheep, Beatnuts, Leaders, Brand Nubian, Fushnik, and Busta, and the Far Side was made numbers by Tip. You guys think 10 members of the clan can sweep that? Not y'all. See, CJ, first of all, thank you for your $50 contribution and your super chat. It's much appreciated. What we're going to do is we're going to take your super chats and we're going to go buy Sean the help that he needs.
Oh, no. I mean, he named a bunch of people, but we can get in the Killer Army Gravediggers bag and, get a couple W's,
Oh, big facts. I go a lot of Dark Man on
it. Okay.
Sons of Man.
Y'all would be okay. I love you guys. But if y'all think that Sons of Man and Killer Army, maybe some of the Gravedigger stuff, but if you think that's beating top end like Native Tongue stuff, you're not really respecting the Native Tongues. This isn't about you. This isn't about you knowing your Wu stuff. This is about you disrespecting the Native Tongue stuff.
No disrespect intended. That's not the goal here. The goal is to show you that Wu run was amazing. Native Tongues was awesome. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But when you put that soundscape up against a different type of soundscape,
it's not. Yeah. No.
It's not going to hit. I'm telling you, it's not going to hit.
We want to fight.
When it hit, we had people arguing with us when we did. It was written and
Ready to Die. Mm-hmm.
We told them that soundscape is different. Don't get caught up into the minutia. When you get caught up into the minutia of an album, because you're told and you're groomed and believed to that. You gotta listen to this. When the last time you didn't want to listen to a Native Tongues album?
I listened to the Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders last week.
Those are exceptional albums. I'm talking about when last you listened to Far Side, Brand Nubian, Beatnuts.
I listened to Lab Cabin California by the Far Side earlier this year. Yes, I did. I do like that album a lot.
When last you listen to De La Soul?
I play Stakes is High with regularity.
Exception.
I got enough exceptions to beat you.
You don't. You
Challenge.
don't.
Challenge.
Let's go. Mad Max got one for us.
You want to know what? When I beat you, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to put on my Prince gloves.
That sounds
please don't.
Nasty.
That sounded crazy as hell. Like
he was pointing to it. Like
he
was pointing to the Prince glove like it's a the gauntlet, the Thanos gauntlet in the case.
I'll do it myself.
All the purple stones come on the glove. It's over for you. Putting the gloves on.
Crazy.
He got the knuckles cut out like the ass cut out the chaps.
Right. That was wild though. Cool. You were sitting there playing with the ass chaps, so that was crazy. That was nasty work for you to do that.
It made you deep clean your seat after you left.
Right.
I'm definitely wearing the gloves when I beat your ass. and then after I beat you, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go upstairs and make pancakes after I beat you. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yo, flipping pancakes with gloves on is insane. That's serial killer shit.
Black leather glove. Okay.
That is insane.
Oh man.
Yo, can you get Mad Max real quick?
Making pancakes after I beat your ass, Sean. You going down. No, we got Mad Max already. Ironman is good, but it's not supreme, let alone the purple tape. Come on now, G, stop it there. It's a big gap.
No doubt. Yeah.
I mean, that depends. That to me, that depends on what you define as a big gap, because I think hip hop is in a place where it's like, well, the difference between an album that you might have number 3 all time and an album that's number 22 all time, it's not that big of a gap like you think. Like the 19 slots between them, like the albums aren't 19 slots apart.
Splitting hairs.
It's closer. It's closer than that. You know what I'm saying? Because I would put a purple tape around a 2 or a 3, but I would put a Reasonable Doubt around a 21 or a 22. There's not that large of a gap between those albums. They're just preference albums that I prefer. You know, like I prefer It's Dark and Hell is Hot. I prefer Moment of Truth. You know?
CJ said we read the wrong super chat for Mad Max. Said he had another one. Yeah, it's right here. This is the other one he had.
What did Mad Max say?
Said native tongues is not easy work. Sean, don't be ridiculous. And Sean Price better than you know who.
Mad Max is a tyrant, man. The dude is a tyrant.
No. Mad Max, no. Tyrants have hearts, okay? Mad Max is a communist, okay? We just need to call it what it is. Mad Max
said he was a communist, man. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Call Mad Max a tyrant.
Needs to be investigated. Needs to be investigated. Okay. Speaking of investigations, an album that birthed one of my favorite rap songs ever, just celebrated its 27th anniversary. Came with mixed reviews, but it also came with a platinum plaque. The Firm album, fellas. Release date, October 21st, 1997. What are our thoughts on this album that got mixed reviews and still garners a lot of... this is one of those albums that gets so much talk in folklore, and it was really just a one-off.
Yeah.
Not too many one-offs like, kind of like live on the way that this has, because I don't even think they were together long enough to be classified as even a true like hip-hop supergroup.
I agree.
So,
it was everything surrounding the album. You had the departure of Cormega, the replacement with Nature, that added to it. You had too many, you had the original affirmative action on It Was Written, produced by the Trackmasters. And then you get Dre into the fold, who's going to produce the other half of the album. And at the end of the day, it was just too many, chefs in the kitchen. And it's not a bad album, but you got a lot of label politics involved too, because my biggest complaint about the album was it's not as many tracks with the core members on there together, so it didn't really seem like a cohesive unit. It seemed more like a compilation because it's only a few tracks where, Foxy, AZ, and Nas are on there together. So that was my main complaint. But overall, it's not a bad album. I bought it 4 times over. You had the cigarette case joint cassette. I had that. I had one stolen, one borrowed and never returned, and then another time, and then a CD. I actually liked the album a lot, but it just wasn't what it could have been. But I think a lot of that's label politics too. I've never bought an album with so many label brandings on it. It had like 8 damn labels. It's a Def Jam.
It had every label on it except for Death Row and Bad Boy.
Right.
The label was on there.
Aftermath. You know what I'm saying? Sody, Def Jam, like everything was on there. Everybody had their hand in the pot, so it was just too many chefs in the kitchen. But overall, like you said, Coop, it still got a platinum plaque. So I don't like when they say dub it the firm flop. Maybe it flopped by the expectations, but it's still a platinum album. But and oddly enough, if we're talking about our favorite joints, my favorite joints outside of Phone Tap don't even got Nas on it. You know what I'm saying? I like Desperados. I love I'm Leaving with Nori. Throw Your Guns with AZ and Half a Meal. And one joint that nobody talk about, and then I'm gonna pass it to Sean, is Untouchables. Love that beat. That beat is crazy. Wiz goes off, but I'm gonna maintain this to this day. When I was a teenager and heard that, I swear I think Nas wrote that joint and let Wiz spit. If you listen to the tone, you listen to the rhyme schemes, that's Nas Escobar right there. Over a crazy Dre beat, and shout out to Wiz for spitting it, like it was his own, but that's Nas Esco. I don't got no proof of that.
No, don't do that. Shout out to Wiz, man.
No, shout out to Wiz 100%, but it ain't no shame in it if not, you know what I'm saying? No shame in that, like Nas wrote it, but I don't have no proof of that, but just listening to it, that's Nas, man. That's
shout
Nas.
Out, no, it's not. Shout out to Wiz. We got Wiz coming soon. Shout out to Wiz.
No, shout out to Wiz. Respect to Wiz and the Bravehearts, Jungle, all of them, horse. But I still say Nas wrote that joint, bro. Listen to it back again.
Get off of that.
What are your thoughts?
Get off of that, man. Oh, too many chefs in the kitchen. The mixtapes, the songs that were on the mixtapes were better than the songs that were displayed on the album.
Good point.
And that's so many things happen with this album. It's actually it's really, it should be a documentary on the Firm album, honestly, because of everything that happened to this album. You're talking about Dre really pulling out close to the middle part of the album. His direction was a certain way that he wanted to do it aesthetically, and you kind of heard it in the very beginning. You think about the beginning of the album. I think the intro, just that skit intro, was dope. They have like the the Cuban Air talking about the Cuban Air firm in the area in the airspace, all of that, and then it starts off with of course Nas, Foxy and AZ, the core team. Cormega wasn't there. I think it's really missing Cormega. I think the firm was really missing Cormega. You replace Cormega with Nature. Nature is a comparable MC. Maybe a better lyricist than
he's
Mega.
a better MC, but not that for the team.
Exactly, especially during that time. Nature was blazing a lot of every track during that time. He was holding his weight, but he didn't have that extra panache that Cormega brought. Right, and you lose that because you already had like 2 top lyricists. You had Nas and AZ. You had Foxy to break that up a little bit with her style or her approach. And Cormega was that rough hit, right? And you didn't have that anymore. You had another lyricist, maybe a lower tier lyricist in comparison to Nas and AZ, but you had another very dense lyricist. And that to me was another failed attempt because so much was going on that really hampered the album itself. I still like the album. I think it's still dope. In retrospect, in real time, I felt like some of the singles probably shouldn't have came out. I didn't like Firm Biz being a single from this group. I really disliked that song. It was that. See how nasty, right? Nasty. I didn't like the video. I didn't like anything about that. And
that was the Bad Boy effect still carrying over though.
It was. This was 97. A lot was going on. We came up. We were still mourning big. And we tried to replace that with different, colors and different schemes and things of that nature. And we got Firm Biz. That was nasty. Didn't like that. Some of the songs on there was a little bit too poppy. if you will, for this group, for these amazing artists. And I think that's where Dre was like, I can't do this. Steve Stout got to evolve. The track masters got into evolve. The record labels got to involve. Def Jam wanted their piece of the pie. You know, Columbia wanted their piece of the pie. This thing was destined to fail, honestly. And it's so platinum. So platinum. But it was destined to fail based on all of the cooks in the kitchen.
Real quick, Nature said that's the reason why he's on most of the songs with everybody, because he wasn't signed to a label, so he had freedom to rap with whoever, where the other labels were jockeying for position. Well, Nas can only be on so many songs, or Foxy can only be on so many songs. Nature was like, just put me on whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So, I'm glad you brought that up, AG, because, well, the main thing that hurt this album was the fact that it's kind of like getting sold a ticket to a basketball game. Let's say you're going to the Lakers game, and they're like, oh man, LeBron's going to play, AD's going to play. And then after the second quarter, they pull LeBron and AD and you don't see him anymore.
Exactly.
That's literally what happened on the Firm album. Literally, even in terms of listening to the album, because, guys, when I tell you this, the beginning of the album is actually pretty fucking stellar.
Mm-hmm.
Firm Fiasco, going into Phone Tap, going into Executive Decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great fucking album start. And it feels firm like starting off. It feels like a continuation.
So I was going to let it go.
Don't do that. It feels like a continuation of those mixtape songs.
Yeah.
But the main problem with the album is that some of the best songs don't even have core members on there. First of all, if I'm getting a Firm album in 1997, I don't need a Foxy solo. I don't need a Nature solo. I need a Nas solo. I need an AZ solo. That's for one.
Yes,
like that's for one.
Yep.
Shout out to AZ. AZ is the best MC on this album.
He is.
Some of the best songs don't have Nas on it. And that's one of the biggest problems with this album. I'm Leaving, no Nas. Throw Your Guns, no Nas. Desperados, no Nas.
And it's a version with Nas on it that was on the Clue tapes.
5 Minutes to Flush, no Nas.
Yeah. I like that joint.
No Nas. It's 1997.
Yep.
In 1997, in terms of popularity, Nas is top 2 or 3 in terms of how hot he is.
Yeah.
He's nowhere on this album after the beginning of this album.
Yeah. Politics, man.
He's on Firm Fiasco, Phone Tap.
It's like 6 joints, the whole album.
Executive Decision. And then he comes back and does the hardcore joint with Foxy, and I like that record. That record just don't make no damn sense on this album. The joint's hot.
I don't like it.
I think it's a dope record, but that would have been a dope record for Foxy's album around that time, not for a Firm album.
To me, it was trying to be too much like another on Big's album, Life After Death.
And I get it, and the competition was live and was real, and I dig all that, but that's what I'm saying. Put that shit on Foxy's album, not on the Firm album. That shit don't belong on the Firm album. 5 Minutes to Flush don't belong on the Firm album. Untouchables don't belong on the Firm album.
Yeah.
Throw Your Guns. I like both of those, though.
Throw Your Guns with $500,000 is a great record. That belongs on a Firm mixtape, not on the Firm album. Fuck are we doing? Where's the Firm? Why does Cannabis have the best verse on the Firm album? That's
a good question. But it's a true statement.
There are a lot of gaps with this album that have nothing to do with the songs not being good. It's just that it don't fit. It don't make sense. It's like I told you, that Foxy Nas record, it's not a bad record. It's like, why the fuck is this literally in the middle of an album where I haven't heard Nas for the last 4 tracks? Then I hear him again, and he's going back and forth with Fox, and then I don't hear him again for the rest of the album.
Yeah, it was disjointed. There was no cohesion in that album whatsoever. That's why Dre walked away. You can tell where Dre walked away in that album. You can tell where that album started to pivot.
Nothing against Nature. Nature is part of the problem with this album, because I think this album needed some grit that Nature didn't provide, that Cormega would have provided. But also, too, it's the space that he's taking up. It's like the Firm Family joint. That beat is hard. That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have much rather heard Nas and Dr. Dre rapping back and forth than Nature and Dr. Dre rapping back and forth? Seeing how the song is called Firm Family, and your buy-in to the firm is Nas and Dr. Dre working together mostly.
Yep.
So maybe not a failure, but you definitely didn't get your money's worth.
Yeah.
No.
Poor execution. Poor
Especially
execution.
me, I feel like I contributed to that. I bought the album 4 times over, so
I mean,
they owe me a platinum plaque at this point.
I talk about Phone Tap all the time. Having a song like Phone Tap on here is a saving grace. I do not think that this album, I think this album gets trashed so much more if Phone Tap's not on there, because
I agree.
For people who have trashed it, for people who don't like it, people don't care for it, what they always say is the Phone Tap's on there.
Right. Saving grace. I'm with you, Coop.
Oh, this is one thing before we move on. This is one thing. The fact that I felt this album, even during this time, I was 17 when this album came out. I felt this opened the door for Jay in a way, only because even you think back to when Dre had the verse when he said, and y'all talking about the firm flop, Jay actually ghost wrote that song. So even though Dre spit it, Jay actually wrote that. He wrote that, y'all saying the firm flop.
That's the one Eminem wrote. Eminem wrote that one. Dre wrote Still DRE. Jay-Z wrote Still DRE.
He wrote that joint too.
Nah, you have to fact check that. Eminem wrote that joint.
I seen it to you. I seen you that with a check mark. But yeah.
It's the arrogance with which he said.
Eminem wrote Forgot About Dre. Y'all in the chat, fact check Sean. Eminem wrote Forgot About Dre. That's Eminem. But I get what you're saying. That did open the door for Jay.
I think the biggest thing that opened the door for Jay was this album, but it's because Nas wasn't on the album. Yeah. Think about this. So Volume 1 comes out like maybe 6 weeks before this album.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so you can say in 97, no, Jay is a better MC than Nas. That's the problem with it.
Yeah.
That's where he needed to show up on the Firm album. And it's like outside, like, and even though he sounds precise on executive decisions, that's not Nas.
That's not, it was written Nas, no.
No. So it's like you're only getting, and like to me, Phone Tap is like the second part of Mo Money, Mo Murder, Mo Homicide. You know what I'm saying? Or it's the prequel too. It's like you get him in that zone, but other than catching him in that zone for that moment, no. And so that's where it started for me, in my opinion, because he actually gave people a reason to say that Jay was better. Because if you go look at his mic performance on the Firm album and then go look at Jay's mic performance on Volume 1, it's like, well, Jay sounds better.
Yep.
He does. All right, we're going to move to our Discord dialogues for the week. AG, you said the winner this week is Bone Thugs and Harmony. I'm going to let you take the reins. Yo,
shout out to Miss LB for this one. She's the one that nominated Bone Thugs and Harmony. We talked about Wu-Tang, we talked about Tribe. For me personally, when I was in, middle school, Bone Thugs and Harmony was like probably my third favorite group behind Wu and Mobb Deep. And I don't think they get the proper credit enough in the hip hop annals because for whatever reason, you know what I mean? They boast 2 classics, if you ask me. East 1999 Eternal is a classic, and then Creeping on a Come Up as an EP is a classic. And, for whatever reason, they're not talked about. And I think that's mostly because the triple time flow style is almost like a niche style. So once that kind of got outdated, they kind of got left behind. But, if they boast 2 classic records plus all-time classic hip-hop songs that don't get talked about, like First of the Month is one of the greatest, rap songs of all time. And Crossroads is one of the biggest crossover pop hits of all time. Like, as far as a rap hit to cross over in the pop charts. So I don't know why they don't get brought up enough, but they're one of the greatest groups. All the members was dope. My personal favorite was Lazy Bone, but Lazy, Flesh, Wish. Actually, Flesh was kind of the Capadonna of the group. He gets left out a lot. Coop shaking his head. But They're real dope. I just got a couple more points that I'll.
Capadonna talk is wild. All this Capadonna talk.
Kappa's that guy.
is
But
wild.
we're talking about Bone Thugs now. But a couple points I will say is, you know, they were well respected enough where other people wanted to rap with them, like collaborating with Big and with Pac right before they passed, where they said, I want to rap with those guys. And let's be real, one of Big's claims to fame when people said, oh, he the greatest MC of all time was his versatility when he was able to rap with Bone. Like, oh, Big can do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Not the other way around. Like, they was like, Big can do what Bone does. So that makes him, you know, one of the greatest ever. So, I mean, I just think they're one of the greatest ever to do it. And, you know, like, once again, shout out to Miss LB, Cleveland representative. I used to travel to Cleveland a lot. I had a uncle that lived there. And not too far off East 1999 is you know, Miss LB, you know where this is at, Chagrin Boulevard. And we used to go there and catch some Cavs games back when, you know, good teams used to come play them because Cavs sucked back then. But at any rate, that's one of the things that I love most about hip hop is because when people talk about their hoods and their, you know, where they're from so much, it becomes like historical monuments, you know, to us in the culture. You know, Coop, when you went to New York, first thing you did was pull up the 40 side. You know what I'm saying? When I went to Cleveland, you know, I had to go to East 1999. I told my uncle, I said, yo, can you take me over there? That's where Bones from. He said, yeah, I know them boys. I know. Yeah. So took me over to East 1999. When I was in Detroit, I had to go see 8 Mile. You know what I'm saying? I had a friend that was from Compton in college. He was trying to get me to go back here one spring break. I said, nah, I'm good. I enjoy waking up in the morning, you know what I'm saying, putting on whatever color I want. So I'm good on Compton. I'll take your word for it. But at any rate, you know, for them to be out of the area of Cleveland, to not have many representatives to come out of that space and be one of the greatest groups of all time, I think is a big deal. And they don't get talked about enough. So, you know, I'm glad Ms. LB put that as a nomination to get their flowers, though. So salute to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Absolutely, absolutely. Salute to Ohio. A lot of talent come out of Ohio. You're talking about, you know, the Ohio players, you know, John Legend, Isley Brothers, OJs. I think your father from Ohio, isn't he? Your father,
Correct.
you got ties to Ohio. Shout out to Ohio, Bobby Womack, the legend, the Dirty Mac of all time. Come out of Ohio. Look, I'm not going to rehash what AG said. I'm gonna just keep mine very short. Shout out to Bone Thugs. One of the most, I feel like, still one underrated group. I think they were before their time. They didn't have an identification when it first came out. You know, if you weren't from there, you probably wouldn't have known they were like from Cleveland, Ohio, right? Because they were affiliated with Eazy-E. You know, I think in the beginning, for me being an outsider, I thought they were most West Coast bound, right? I thought, like, man, these guys are West Coast and they just sound great. They sound melodic, and it was just a different cadence. And to your point, AG, to be able to get on the track with Biggie and influence Biggie to have that fast style, that rat-a-tat flow, but also being able to get on the track with Tupac as well. It tells you how much respect that they did have in the industry, and they were able to carry the torch even after Eazy-E's untimely death. So again, you know, shout out to the Discord for even picking Bone Thugs. Shout out to LB. I know she was very excited about this one. And you know, again, shout out to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
You rep the harmony. You touched on the harmony, Sean. That's something that's prevalent today. They were ahead of their time because if you look at all the rappers using harmonies now, I mean, they could have been the blueprint for that. Real talk.
Absolutely.
Singing ass niggas.
Absolutely.
I think something that often gets lost, and shout out to both of you guys for giving Bone their flowers. You all made some excellent comments and some thoughts. I'm going to do my best to piggyback off some of the things that you all both shared. I think people forget these guys used to sell records. That's part of why Biggie wanted to do a record with them. That's part of why Tupac wanted to do a record with them. They were a big deal. They were moving units. That EP, Creeping on a Come Up, went quadruple platinum. Their single, The Crossroads, quadruple platinum. East 1999 sold like 5-6 million records. They were moving units and going multi-platinum off singles and albums. Because I think Thuggish Ruggish Bone is like the song is like double platinum. They were going platinum off of singles and off of albums and off of EPs at a time where your favorite rapper was happy if they sold 500,000 copies and went gold.
That was the goal.
So they weren't just ahead of the game in terms of the harmonies and the melodies. They were ahead of the game in terms of the fact that it's like, oh no, they were selling more records than Wu-Tang and Mobb Deep. And,
they really were. They really were.
Yeah, like we are all Wu-Tang fans. It's like, no, Enter the Wu-Tang is platinum. Creeping on a Come Up is quadruple platinum. There's a difference. Like 3 million records sold difference. And so they were a big deal. And I think what they had and what made them so impactful is because I think people grasped onto them as a novelty because of the fast time, rapid fire rapping of Creeping on a Come Up, Thuggish Ruggish Bone, For the Love of Money, like not
great
hit
songs.
wonderish, classic records, but not one hit wonderish, but maybe felt like they were about to be a fad. But what happened when they made East 1999 is that they showed people not a fad, but we can make a classic rap album, full-length player, rapping like this. Yes. And I think that cemented their legacy and their longevity when they did that. Is because they made a classic rap album rapping like that. It ain't the same shit as Tone Loc making Funky Cole Medina or fucking Young MC making Bust a Move, or it's not that. It's like no. These guys came back. They came back with a vengeance. They made an excellent record. And when you actually go back and listen to them rap, these guys could rap. Ass off rap.
It was impressive when you come to school and could rap a whole Bone Thugs verse.
That used to be the thing in middle school, AG. You're right. Middle school, if you could rap, I can remember the thing was being able to rap Thuggish Ruggish Bone. Yep. If you could rap Thuggish Ruggish Bone, the girls loved you.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts.
If you couldn't, you were nobody.
Facts. Yes. And I'm glad you brought up the point, Coop, about they released the full-length album after the EP, and then they followed that up with a double album. Like Art of War is not a bad double. It really isn't. It don't get talked about with the greater double albums in hip hop, but it's not a bad double album. So they always had the content. I mean, they always had the material out there going, multiple platinum. But I think their content is the reason why they may not be heralded as much as the other artists, because some of the things they talked about, I mean, it was into some wild stuff, the Ouija boards and all that, but but they were dope still yet,
I think Mr. Ouija off of East 1999 is one of the best interludes ever.
It is.
It is.
It really is.
It's creepy as fuck. But it's let's get to a couple super chats and then we're gonna get to our last segment before we slide out of here. CJ the Kid, Station Head preview, Shaheem or Chi Ali? I'm not picking.
That is nasty.
I'm not picking. Why would you do that to us?
Shaheem the Rugged Chow.
Yeah, you're gonna pick Wu-Tang. It's been that kind of day. CJ the Kid again. Bone Thugs and Harmony did songs with Big, Pac, Easy, and Pun while alive.
Yes.
Yes.
They're the only ones.
Kenny Castro also was on a song with Pun before he died. Yeah. Bone put in that work, and they were highly respected. And their songs, like some of their records, like Bone's a bigger problem. Like they made a lot more hit records than they get credit for too. Days of Our Lives.
Yeah. Yeah, they got hits everywhere.
Everywhere.
I'm with you. I think First of the Month and Crossroads or
For the Love of Money.
For the Love of
All
Money.
time great hip hop.
Yeah. First of the Month might be the most underrated classic rap song of all time. Like nobody talks about that record. That record is great.
I'm in agreement with that.
When it came out, nobody talks about that record at all. And it's like, no, it was a very, very big deal.
Yeah, that's why I love this Discord dialogues, man. It gives the opportunity to wax poetic about stuff like that.
That was the first single. That was what really solidified that they were here to stay is when they dropped First of the Month. It's like, no, these guys aren't no flash in the pans. They're really like dope. They're like going to be here. Yeah. All right, so we've come to the end of our show. And although we're about to pause, you all can press play on our picks for the week. So, am I kicking off the press play?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, don't sound too
Did we get the Kendrick topic
We still
before we
got
do the press play?
Oh, I
Yeah, we
guess.
gotta do the Kendrick. The Coop try to dodge the Kendrick topic.
Well, I figured we scratch a topic. You know what topic I'm going to scratch.
That's what a lot of people pulled up for, though. It's the thumbnail. That's the main topic.
I guess. So Kendrick did an interview with SZA. It went well. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for subscribing to Hip Hop Talk. No.
Yo, that's nasty.
That is
nasty.
Okay, no. Kendrick and okay. First of all, Kendrick being interviewed by SZA is like, you know, Larry Bird being interviewed by like Magic Johnson. It's like the journalistic integrity of it is totally lost. But let's go ahead and do it anyway. What were your takeaways from this interview? Did you find out anything new about either one of the artists? Anything insightful? Anything I should give two fucks about?
No, listen. I'm with you, Coop. Like, you know, SZA was going to ask Kendrick the tough questions, and I would keep the same energy if Nicki Minaj was interviewing Drake. She's not going to ask Kendrick like, "Yo, you called, you know, homie a PDF file, but what about the allegations against yourself?" She's not going to do that. And she did ask him about Not Like Us, but the way she framed it was kind of weird. Like she asked it like she said, this is a hyper masculine question, so you don't have to answer it or whatever. But I don't know if she thought he was going to be on some rah-rah stuff. But then he gave, what I'll say about Kendrick, he gave the most, you know, PC answer I've, you know, ever heard. He's really good. I will say he's really good. Because here's why.
Clever.
He called Drake a master manipulator, but Kendrick is a master marketer. And
Takes one to know one.
Yeah, he's a master marketer, because what he did with his whole soliloquy on Not Like Us was two things. He didn't necessarily relate it to Drake, but he said, you know, a guy with morals and, you know, a guy who stands on, you know, certain beliefs or what have you. So he tied it back into an album or a project that most of the culture doesn't think is, you know, the best in his discography. We'll just say that. But now he's linking his biggest hit ever in with that album, because he's saying that's the mantra of this song, the exact sentiment I was trying to paint on this album. And another very smart thing that he did was he's kind of taken the meaning of Not Like Us away from the Drake element, because, you know, like you said, Coop, the song blew up based off of like who the song was about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a banger, best song of the year, but part of it was who the song was about. But when you remove Drake from it, you're essentially saying like, okay, this thing can stand on its own and have more legs going forward as a all-time hip hop classic song because of the mantra and what it means. So I'll give Kendrick credit for trying to separate the song from Drake and lump it over there with his Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers album, because he's a marketing genius for that. That was my main takeaway from the interview. Well, if you want to call it an interview, it was more of a conversation between friends.
More of a conversation. That's the type of shit con artists do, AG. All right. That's some con artist shit. That's all I heard you say. So, you know, Sean, you were right. My father is from Youngstown, Ohio. Youngstown has a lot of pimps, a lot of players, a lot of hustlers, a lot of con artists. So I know a con when I see one. All right. I know when I'm being con. Ain't no con. I know when I'm being con. He's sitting up here trying to separate Not Like Us from Drake because he knows that he's never had a record like this do this. And so what he is really trying to do is attribute it to his talent level and his skill and his thought process. And all of those things are attached to that record, but that record's about Drake. And Drake is the focal point. And so I don't want to hear no bullshit. about him trying to unpack it, unwind it, untoggle it, and try to make it into something different. Nigga, it's a diss record. Your biggest record of your career is a diss record because it's of the person that it's about. Now, we're not going to keep on playing these little fuck-ass games and acting like that. That's not the reason. That's the reason. If you was making this song about fucking, like, how about this? He did a whole verse one time and name dropped everybody, and it wasn't as big as doing this. That's because of the artist that you did it to. So stop trying to separate yourself from it. You've been embracing this moment in every other way. It's gotten you all the way up to your own Super Bowl performance. You should be happy. This interview was terrible. This was a terrible interview.
You gotta say it like Barkley.
Terrible.
Terrible. What you got, Sean?
I don't think it was a terrible interview. I think it was an interview. I think that he did something that he should have done, and that's control his own narrative. I had mixed about this interview. I went through it like 2 or 4 different times when I was trying to, kind of parse through the interview and understand the interview. He made a comment in an interview that he cried recently. He's talking about emotions.
Oh my God. Am I the only one that realizes he's gaslighting everybody? Is it just me? Is it really just me?
He's on.
Joe spoke on that, Joe Budden.
And Joe did mention, shout out to Joe. Joe did mention, he said that the guy that he attacked for being soft and being sensitive, he actually doing the same thing in this interview. He's talking about emotion. He's talking about sensitivity. He's talking about tapping into
his feminine side.
All of these things that he was talking about. And look, man, all things can be true when it comes
about something. It's my feminine energy that's enabling me to have this type of dialogue with you. Nigga, please.
Remember when 50 got at Ja and destroyed Ja for singing on hooks and having, female sing on the hooks and all of these things. And when he removed Ja from the scene, he did the same thing.
Correct.
This is not too far from that at all.
This is nasty work.
It is. And that's only if this is not authentic. But who are we to say that it's not? Who are we to say that this man is not in touch with his feminine side? Hell, he made the Mr. Morale album. He talked about his auntie as an uncle or something like that. He's reaching into different parts of his I guess his life and his artistry, right? And the best artists are the ones who can articulate that really well. Now, I know that's not a popular thing to say because he is coming off a big hit with Not Like Us. He's ridiculed, the artist that we consider to be might be the softest one in comparison. And he's talking about these feminine things and, all these things that he's attaching himself to or he's more comfortable with in his interview with a friend. So I get all of that. But at the same time, as an artist, he reserves that right. He reserves that right to feel that way. He reserves that right to change on us if he feels that way.
I can't have friends like SZA. That's not gonna work. Okay, that's not gonna work.
You can't have friends with Dolly Parton at this current age. What do you mean?
I had Dolly Parton on Northside making this money. Okay, bring my 25% back.
And with that said,
yeah.
Let's go to press play.
No, look, man. And shout out to Andrew because Andrew and I had a lot of conversation behind the scenes on this for the past couple of days. And Andrew had a really, really strong take on this from different layers when you're diving into, the psyche of someone like a Kendrick or just kind of reflecting on ourselves. And it made me change my thought pattern on what Kendrick is saying and what he's trying to express. And cool, you said it yourself. You said, this guy made Mr. Morale. And he showed a different side of him on Mr. Morale. And for whatever reason, it didn't connect to a lot of the fan base. People try to force it. They try to force it, say, oh, this is a classic. Or I think Charlamagne the God said, we want to appreciate Mr. Morale until years later, and how important it is. And it's now becoming years later, and I still don't think we identify how important that album is. This is him circling that wagon and saying, I'm going to go back and get that fan base that I may have alienated during this battle. I'm going to bring them over to my side. He's doing what he's supposed to do, whether he's believing it or not. The truth's going to come out regardless at the end. Drake said in one of the raps, like, this guy is not what y'all think he is. He's a trickster. But y'all following him. That's what he said. That's what Drake said, right? So we'll see how it plays out. You know what I mean? Art by nobody over you is not capping for Kendrick. I'm giving a different side of the coin because I'm still split, down the middle as to what this is all about. Like, if he doesn't follow this up with an album that means anything, that can follow up the battle and follow up what he's doing, then all is for naught, right? The fan base is going to get behind Kendrick regardless, fellas. The momentum is there. Everything is there.
Can I add to it? I'm sorry, Sean. Like, yeah. I just now thought about this. To your point, like, where he's selling everybody on the morals and the feminine side, like, isn't morally that's what J. Cole tapped into in order to back out
absolutely
the battle, and he's getting flamed for it.
Yeah, flamed for it. Like, right. I said, the momentum is on his side. It doesn't matter what K. Dot does right now. The fans are going to justify it.
Right.
That's what we're seeing. Drake would have did this. You know what would happen?
If Drake would have talked about his feminine side,
that's his whole catalog.
But can you imagine though? Can you imagine what the backlash would be if he were to sit down and talk about getting in touch with his feminine side?
Cool.
Do you know how niggas would have a fit?
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm going to be honest with you, gentlemen. At the point that Kendrick Lamar being interviewed by SZA, there does just become a point in the interview as a man where it's like, well, really, nobody cares what you have to say. What was SZA wearing during the interview, nigga?
That's crazy.
Who cares about your Mr. Morale and all your little morale problems, nigga? What SZA have on, nigga? Is she in a sundress, tights, tank top? What with the hair down, ponytail?
I mean, that's part of the morale, the Mr. Morale, because he wasn't checking for that.
He ain't the only one
being a loyal, loyal fiance.
I ain't the only one that don't need friends like SZA either, Kendrick.
Nigga. Look, man. Look, he got a lot of momentum right now. It's like no matter what he does, the fans like every night. Just the fans.
Yo, don't let the Dodgers win the World Series.
Okay, this is
goodness. Right. Yeah. Do not let the Dodgers win the World Series. You're right.
So look here. So AG was getting tight earlier. I'm getting tight now. We got to get out of these tight.
Yeah, let's go to the press play. Let's do it.
I don't feel safe. I'm uncomfortable. I want to talk to guitar.
I'm not ready for that, man.
I'm uncomfortable.
Y'all know the play. Y'all know what the play is. Y'all see it. It's in front of your face right now.
Yeah.
You got to come to grips with it. Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of play, let's hit the press play.
Yeah, cool. Kick us off, man. What you got?
Doing the commemorative stuff made me realize that 1997 was actually a better year in hip hop than people gave it credit for. I think it's just a change of pace year. And so I tried to pick some of my favorite records from 1997. So starting off, Guantanamera by Wyclef featuring Lauryn Hill.
Dope, John.
Yeah, the Guantanamera. The Carnival's one of the more underrated albums of that era.
It is.
It is. Like the Carnival is an album of the year contender in 1997, and that's saying a lot because you got Life After Death, Wu-Tang Forever, No Way Out, and the Carnival is in that consideration in that conversation. That was my favorite record from there. That's back when I thought Lauryn Hill was on time about all the things that she did. All right. But the bar work is stellar as always. Second, of course, personal favorite, Phone Tap by The Firm. I've thought about this. The most important contribution that I think that I have to hip hop is my interview with Chris the Glove Taylor, who actually made this record. And so,
great interview. Great
One of
interview.
my greatest moments was actually just having him explaining how Phone Tap happened and how the whole Firm fiasco literally happened, not the song. So Phone Tap at number 2. Next, another personal favorite of mine, Ray and Ghost unite again with the MGM. This is my favorite song on Wu-Tang Forever because I think people forget that Wu-Tang kicked street knowledge, but really not street talk outside of Ray and Ghost. And so Wu-Tang Forever is heavy on the bar work and street education, but very, very light on the street talk. The MGM is the street talk on Wu-Tang Forever.
Yeah.
Everybody knows how it starts off, up in the MGM, coked up.
Sight.
6 niggas walked in, flashing they gems. Peace sign. Yeah. Everybody knows the MGM. Number 4, another 97. 97 HOF. How can I talk about 97 when I talk about 97 HOF? Imaginary Players. Top 3 J song to me still to this day. When people talk about the Jay-Z, at least because, I think there are different iterations of Jay at this point. But the Jay that I grew up on, if I was picking a song to describe Jay to people, this would be the record I put. They'd be like, who is Jay-Z? It's like, this is the guy, And I had never heard somebody talk on record like this and make it almost more entertaining than having an actual hook. Like when he's talking on here, he's like, niggas think I owe him something. Like they gave me Rockefeller startup money. Yeah, his talk is special on there. Imaginary
on that.
Yeah. It's very, very special. Gonna keep it in Brooklyn. Gonna keep it in 97. My Downfall by Big. I think the foreshadowing nature of this song keep people from calling it what it is. It's one of his 5 best songs, guys. The mic performance on here is stellar. You could argue that as far as 3-verse songs goes, this is as good as any that he's ever done. DMC on the hook is epic. The beat is eerie and monstrous and rhythmic and cinematic and haunting and all of those things. Yes, My Downfall. My Downfall might be the best record on Life After Death. Like just like in a vacuum. If we're talking about beats, rhymes, and life, me and Sean Combs taking broads homes. Yeah.
Yeah, that might not be a good verse to spit right now.
Yeah, that aged poorly.
Yeah.
With some bitches from Brussels eating clams and mussels. Ugh.
And
Octopus, pretty face, no waist. I just want the bush so I can mac it. Give her a package to push because I work them hoes, bend them hoes. I'll show you how to play them hoes. Can you just... Yeah, he's crazy on there. My Downfall by Big. Number 6, actually got a compilation. DJ Muggs, Soul Assassins from 1997. But one of the best Goody Mob records that you'll ever find, and one of CeeLo's best mic performance, Decisions. The battle's no longer physical. It's from within. You live to die. You die to live again. But you can't win for losing. What side are you choosing? Decisions to make. Yes, classic record from the Goody. And last but not least, wanted to give a little Midwest love. Common. Invocation. Invocation is produced by No ID and actually is the start off to One Day It'll All Make Sense. A lot of people forget that what helped delay this album was the fact that Common was legally fighting for the right to use common sense. And he actually lost that. And so this was actually the first album that he released has Common. And Invocation is the first record that you hear in the iteration of Common as we currently know it. This was the start of that. I believe he said something on here, I inhale imagination and breathe wonder. So Common was always special on the mic. Shout out to Com. Shout out to Chi-Town. Midwest, I Am God. Just hit me up last week. We coming to Chi-Town soon, trying to work that out for the top of next year. Com with the Invocation. Coop with the press play. Y'all play on. Players.
I really like that list.
Dope list.
Little 97 love.
Dope
97 was a sneaky good year.
It was.
Sneaky
good.
It was. AG, you ready?
Got you. Yeah. Since we had the dope discussion last week about on last week's show about soundtracks, that's where I took my press playlist. I went and dove back into some of my favorite soundtrack records. So I'm started off with Know the Ledge by Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim off the Juice soundtrack. My personal favorite Rakim song. And the reason being for that is just because I was coming of age. You know, I was around 11 years old when this dropped. And, you know, I had listened to Rakim since Paid in Full, you know, put on by my older cousins. But I was finally at an age where I felt like it finally clicked. And I was getting, you know, the lyrics and what he was saying. It was like connecting for me by this time. You know what I mean? Because Rakim was rhyming at a different level for a long time. But this was the time like it really clicked for me. So that's why this song is my favorite Rakim song.
Dope.
Then next I got Pain from the Above the Rim soundtrack, which is my second favorite Pac song of all time. Love Pain as a record. I remember when this came out, this had it was kind of a la Silent Murder on It Was Written, because if you got the tape of Above the Rim, Pain was on there, but if you got the CD, didn't have Pain on there. So that, you know, stuff like that used to drive me crazy back in the day when they did releases like that. But anyway, this Pac record is, and the opening scene of the movie, you know, after Nutso jumps off the roof, smacking the backboard and all that, you know what I'm saying? Just to open with this song was crazy. It was iconic. So love this song. Next I got Tragedy by the RZA off the Rhyme and Reason soundtrack. I mean, RZA, you know, I think he was underrated as one of the MCs in Wu, and I think this song proved that. I remember watching this video every day on Rap City. The video was like crazy, one of the best videos out at the time.
Like
and yeah, like a kung fu flick, and it was just super dope. But I remember that was the first thing that we heard of Wu-Tang Forever coming. They said 97 February. But we know it didn't come out in February. It came out later on. But that was the first thing we heard of that, him previewing it in that song. So the anticipation started to build from there. And, you know, if I'm compiling my personal top, however many 25 Wu songs or whatever, this song by RZA makes the cut for me.
Really? You got
yeah, I love Tragedy that much. Love this record.
I love it.
On your head, like
love it. Love it.
That song predicted the Wu-Tang Forever album as well.
It did.
The very end. He talked about Forever. Yep.
Next I got Murdergram, not to be confused with Murdergram by LL Cool J, but this is by the group Murder Inc. And this is one of my biggest what ifs in hip hop history. If this trio actually got to release an album, because the collabs that they did together were all, in my opinion, 10 out of 10. And you know, this particular song, DMX murdered this when he came in, and everybody, John, Jay-Z included, but DMX took it to another level. But this is one of my favorite tracks off the Streetz is Watching soundtrack. So yeah, like I said, that's a big what if. I wish they could have released the album. Next I got Tommy's Theme off the Belly soundtrack. And when I tell you, when the Locks first came out during the Bad Boy era, Chic was my favorite, but I slowly began to like come around to Jadakiss being my favorite. But what I will say is, to me, this verse shows how dope Chic is, because Kiss and Styles are in their back and forth, you know, in and out flow bag, and it don't even matter. Like, how many times have you said that? It don't even matter what they're doing on this track, because Chic comes in with a verse that kills everybody, in my opinion. Like when he said he was pile up like the World Series is won, I said it's game over. Like she got the best verse on this song, so that's one of my favorite joints. Next I got You Wanna Be Me by Nas off the 8 Mile soundtrack. And this may be a hot take, but I think this song is just as scathing as Ether without saying Jay's name. Like from the hook to what he's saying in the bars, like
very disrespectful.
It is very, very disrespectful. And I was surprised it made its way on a soundtrack that also featured Jay. You know, Eminem put it on there. But it's a whole nother story for another day how this song found its way on the soundtrack. But at any rate, I don't think this gets talked about enough as a diss record. And I think that's because he never said Jay's name on the record, but you know who he's talking to and who he's talking about. and this is as scathing as it gets, man. Arguably just as much as Ether for me. So if y'all haven't heard this, check it out. It's crazy. And the last one I got on my list is Hustler's Ambition by 50 Cent off the Get Rich or Die soundtrack. Hustler's Ambition is my personal favorite 50 Cent song. It checks every box. The bars are there. 50 is not really the lyrical guy, but his bar work on here is really good. The hook is there, top notch, and the beat is stellar. So this is my favorite 50 song. And overall, the whole soundtrack, as compilations go, as a G-Unit compilation, criminally slept on. It's dope from top to bottom. Love this whole album. Oh, it is.
Don't love the album, love the song. Think it's a top 550 song for me.
Oh, it's got bangers left and right on this album. I think it's a great album. You know what I'm saying? Especially for a compilation or a soundtrack. I didn't think it had any skips, personally.
Out of respect for your opinion, I'm going to go back and listen again, but I don't remember it being like that. But I do remember Hustler Ambition is like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sean,
50 did a lot of heavy lifting, though, on there.
Yeah.
But.
Sean, you want to take us home with your whack list?
My list working y'all list, especially yours. Coop gonna come in third place again. Coop, remember you got 0 votes on that last list we did before. You got 0 votes. We're gonna start that again.
Sean, I've tried to explain this to you. These people don't know shit. That's what I'm here for. If they knew, they wouldn't need me to guide them, nigga.
That's crazy. That's wild. Yo, my first one is Nori and Nature, I'm Leaving. You guys know I love that joint. To me, I felt like Nori again, Corona, Queens, Left Rack City, same thing, same coin, different side. I felt like Nori was on his way up, and I felt like this song was one of the ones that got Nori into that conversation of just being a respected artist. Coming off the heels of the War Report, and he was on this album with I'm Leaving. He killed this joint with Nature. I wanted to keep it in Corona. Again, was in the city this week and wanted to keep it in Corona. With the Styles P and Nori joint come through. This is the Violators 2 album. That joint was crazy. Like I remember the chorus, like evening was the time. They went crazy, man. Here's why they call me the ghost. I'm half live, half dead. When it's beef, I bring all of the toast. Corona, Queens, and you have Left Rack City in there. Just makes so much sense. Those 2 albums right there, smoking everything Coop did already.
That Violator album is hella slept on, man. It's crazy.
Violator slept on. Sean's list, suspect. Like the song.
And again, being in the city, man, I felt good being in the city, man. And I wanted to keep it with Corona again, with the Life, Styles P and Pharoah Monch. And I thought this song was actually like a bonus track during that time. And it was on I think it was like the last song played on the Gangsta and the Gentleman album. And I felt like it was a very good closeout to the album. But I love this song, The Life by Pharoah Monch, Styles P. I also had to go to Ghost and Trife, Biscuits. I thought this song was a great setup for this album. Pretty Tony album that I talked about enough. I thought this album was really, really dope. To me, I felt like Ghost was on a major run. He was carrying that Wu flag during his time because Wu was kind of falling off a little bit during his time as well. And this album was Ghost, I think his 4th album that came out the Bulletproof Wallets. And, just being able to set the tone with Biscuits was one of my joints. That chorus was crazy. And I reached in the pocket for this one, man. I went to that Boot Camp Click, also came out in 97. I think the thing that hurt Boot Camp Click, and I think someone asked about Sean P earlier, it just so happened I was actually listening to this album on the plane, man, going into New Yiddy. And I forgot how good this album really was. The problem with this album, it came out a month before Wu Forever.
It is the problem. Yep.
That's the problem, right? Because we were comparing
Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang's the problem. Only problem with
in real time,
Wu-Tang Clan. That's it.
Yes, absolutely.
Wu-Tang. Okay, so Boot Camp had people who could spit with Wu-Tang, but they didn't have the stars. Ray's a star. Ghost is a star. Meth is a star. Dirty's a star. Wu had stars. Facts.
Yeah. And we kind of looked at Boot Camp Click as like the B squad in comparison to Wu. And this album happened to come out like a month before Wu-Tang Forever. And I think it hurt. I really think it hurt the momentum of this album because Buckshot Shorty was crazy. Loch Ness Monster, Cocoa Brothers, Smith and Wesson at the time. They were going crazy. Strong album. And all the talk around Nas and Jadakiss, this week, and Jadakiss saying Nas was the GOAT, but we had some goofies out there saying that Jadakiss was ahead of Nas. I wanted to go back and listen to a lot of the Nas and Jadakiss collaborations, and I felt like What If was one of those. To be quite honest, fellas, and again, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. Nas really smoked Jada on all these collabs that they had. It's like Nas took it to a different level to say, look, I'm Nas.
Made You Look remix is the only exception.
I'm about to say, yep, AG, the Made You Look remix would be the exception. Yep.
Yeah, that's the only exception. That's because the original was so great of a mic performance and just all around love for that song. Nas was like, oh, whatever. Just give them this remix to me, fellas. It's for the love. But What If is dope. Nas went crazy on What If.
He did. He really did.
And my closeout, man. I went back to the Lost Boys album. This album,
nice.
I remember when this album came out. It was '99. This album, I felt like this album was like really close to me for home. It was really close to me for home. I had just got to North Carolina, my first duty station. Freaky Ty passed away, got killed. Unfortunately, rest in peace, Freaky Ty. But this album, to me, if you really want to feel like what New York felt like, this is that album. In my opinion, in '99, this was that album, and Ghetto Jiggy was that one. It's like I felt something different with the way it was just Purdy Lou was doing his thing with the production piece of it, the ad libs. Freaky Ty was in the background with the ad libs. All these things connected with this song for me, and I just felt that nostalgia when I was in the city. So that's my roundup for this week's playlist.
Okay, that's pretty good. While you were there, it gave me an excellent idea. I noticed this show goes better when we just block your face with an album and you talk. So now on, every time you talk,
it is great.
I'm just gonna have an image block you off because it's
wow.
That is wild. Even AG said, "Yo, we got a couple of super chats."
Yeah, I see him. CJ the Kid again. Appreciate all the love, CJ. Recently, Lord Jamar spoke on Big Suspect lyrics. In real time, when you hear the various questionable bars from Big, did you catch them and question it? To be honest with you, it's been floating around Big for a long time, and I'm going to tell you what really sparked it was when the artwork from Machiavelli, actually. The artwork from Machiavelli is really what put all of Big's lyrics into motion. It was something people had talked about before, but then when you see the imagery from the original version of the Machiavelli album, with Big and Puff in some compromising and putting some people in Big's case, a Beast in some compromising positions. So there has been some talk about Big's lyrics being controversial on that level for quite some time, at least in the streets.
There's a lot of stuff Big said that we didn't rap along with. We get to that part and we just, bob our head.
Yeah.
CJ the Kid again. Sean, you better play Biscuits on that station head.
Oh, I will.
I wouldn't do that if I was you. I wouldn't play any Biscuits from Wu-Tang Clan on the station head, actually.
This is the joint.
Just me.
Yo, what up?
I'm going to dig into my native tongue bag.
Dig into native tongue bag sounds weird, but I get it.
You know what, everybody? We've had a wonderful discussion.
We did
at Hip Hop Talks. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Pull up in our Discord. We got YouTube shorts and merch coming soon. We got the Summer Soul Festival coming soon. We outside with it. We inside with it. We making great lists with it, at least in the case of me and AG. In Sean's case, he's trying. We're going to give him a deeper effort.
Yo, Cuban losing position heads to Mike. You think he's going to beat me?
Okay. Yo, one more part and thought, man. Hit Boy posted that Big Hit. I don't know why, but Big Hit is locked back up again, and I hated to hear that news, so I just want to send a shout out to Big Hit, man. Hold your head, you know what I'm saying, and hopefully get to come home again soon and stay free.
Yeah, man.
That's my parting shot.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Hit. Shout out to Big Hit. Hold your head, fam.
No doubt. I think we finished, fellas. Like, subscribe, share. Follow us on Twitter. I'll put the Discord link in the chat as well. Follow us on the Discord. Follow us on Facebook. I'll put that in the chat also.
Oh yeah, and people, tell us what you want to hear and see from us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, tell me and AG the stuff that you want us to do. We know Sean can't do anything for you, but if you hit me and AG up, tell us what you like. Tell us what you need us to do. Yeah. Whatever you like to see shorts on. Y'all want to hear some of AG's deep dives on Big Sean's mediocre album? He's here. He's here.
That is crazy.
That's nasty work, man.
That is crazy.
You want to hear me talk about a rapper who hasn't made a great album in 7 years, but y'all keep calling him the greatest rapper of all time? Hit me up. Holla at me.
If you want to hear about Coop shaking the mayor's hands with the Prince gloves on.
Yeah, with the ass.
Hit him up.
Yo, he walked by the mayor, you step on the ass like, yo, hey, go get me some water, boy. He told me to go get some water. Yo, my bad.
Forget getting me some water. Lower my taxes. I almost had to finance my groceries today. They were so expensive. I got to the counter. It's like, we can apply for financing when we go grocery shopping, right?
Yo,
like the first party costs this much money.
Yo,
like,
tax is crazy. I got charged with a parish tax in Baton Rouge. I got charged with parish tax. I'm like, what the hell is a parish tax?
I'm gonna have to start putting $250 down a month and just be like, look,
yeah,
here's $250. I'm gonna see y'all next month. I'm gonna have your money.
Yo, I think all the self-checkout, I think you should get a 15-20% discount if you go through self-checkout because you're doing it yourself.
Facts. Yo, shout out to all the people, man. Shout out to CJ the Kid that came through for us tonight. Yo, CJ, get that thing ready for us, man, so we can we can do this battle, so we can smoke cool boots. Yo, Trife, the engineer, Trife Boogie, get ready. We about to give Coop that work, man. We're gonna get him work down on that station.
Yo, I'm gonna send you that other list, Coop.
Trife. I don't know what type of work that you're doing, but you don't want to align yourself with Sean and go up against me, Trife. It's gonna be all bad for you. 88 Spence with the super chat. Really dope show. We appreciate you, Spence. We went over today. We'll be up soon. Follow us on Discord, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, every other simple, stupid fucking name that's out there that we got our logo up on. We'll see y'all in Shelby in a couple weeks. Shout out to LT. Peace. Salute. Another one.
Come to Shelby, come and break bread with us. I'm not giving out autographs, so don't come with me. Come out there to have fun. No autographs from the kid. Yo, we out. I'm just kidding.
Cut the feed off, man. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yo, that is crazy. Yo, we